Good morning, everybody. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. Hi, everybody. Hi. I hope you guys are doing well today. Oh, I forgot my water. Sorry, hold that thought 1 second.
They should be kissing Denims' feet.
Water. Okay, hi, everybody. Just this. Good morning. I'm throwing it back already. Sorry. I just wanted to go get some water. I hope you guys are having a good Friday so far. I have many a thing prepared for you guys. You didn't stream yesterday? Someone named Not Denims was streaming instead. What the hell? How could that happen? Ugh. My clothing is shedding. But anyways, we have a lot to get to today. I hope you guys are excited for Friday. First and foremost, I have to talk about Haley Stevens. Between Haley Stevens talking about how her goal is to win the election. And then the crash out. Oh my God, I cannot wait. Second, she went goblin mode. Yeah. And then second, Hasan had Norm Finkelstein on, and I kind of wanted to watch that. It sounded like fun. And then ContraPoints is still going. She's still going. Guys, she's still going. Hope we have just one more tweet and the reputation won't be dirt. I'm just joking around. But yeah, she's still going. Norm is wild, dude. Yeah, I saw some of it and it looked pretty it looked a little crazy. So with that in mind, shall we begin? Shall we begin? Let me close this. Let's go.
I don't
Let
really
us
quarrel with people who reach the wrong conclusion.
Let's start here. Chatters. I'll close this. Perfect. You guys move over a little. Thanks. Much better.
Okay. My parents passed through the Nazi Holocaust.
Oh my God, I totally forgot. I was going to talk about this yesterday and I forgot. Before we can do anything else. So sorry. There's one other thing. Did you guys see? I don't even know how to describe it. Israel's latest ad campaign. Let me just let me pull it up 1 second. Hold up. No, not that, but also this. All right, here it is. I cannot believe this.
Why do black people get so offended when white people say the N-word during a song? Like, I think half my playlists, the songs have the N-word in it. I'm just supposed to not say it. Why do black people get so offended?
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Pussy facing the world. You know what? At least she has no cock shame, no cooter shame. God bless. Amen. But that's not what I was going to show you guys. It was, well, that is what I was going to show you guys. But I also wanted to show you guys some of the other clips. Because this isn't even the most offensive one. This is her whole TikTok. Dude, what the fuck? Dude, what the fuck? She's airing it out. It's crazy. Denims, just admit that you're getting coochie mogged. This one I think was the one that was going viral.
Please stop addressing.
Hold up. I cannot believe this is real. I cannot believe Israel is at the point where the way to win the PR is coochie mogging. Israel is now going all like full blown on actual gooner bait, toe maxing, coochie maxing.
Can we please stop addressing Ilhan Omar as a congresswoman? I mean, she's literally a fraud. This is a person who came to the USA to corrupt its people and resources. She went from negative $65,000 net worth to over $30 million and denies it. She denies it and she blames it on an accounting error. That's not all. Then there's the winery with no clear location, no wine at all.
What the? Dude, what the fuck? Dude, what the fuck?
No phone number, no visible operations. It seems abnormal, doesn't it? And then she proceeds to insult the reporter asking about these things, asking her to explain it to the people. And
also, I gotta say, when you can listen to some of what she's saying, shockingly, I know, when you're not distracted by the absurd nature of the video, Ilhan Omar was being rude to a reporter by asking a question.
On top of all of these unknown things, she calls World War II World War XI. So how is someone so fucking stupid able to become an important topic in this country? She is literally the trending topic in the United States of America. It blows my mind. She is the opposite of everything that we stand for in this country. And she literally married her brother. We do not marry our brothers here. We don't marry.
No, we just coochie post on Maine. I don't even take issue, by the way, with like sitting with your knees up. I sit like that all the time. It's very comfortable. Knees up and spread is not comfortable. It's comfortable because you can let your knees rest on each other. So when your knees are both up, they rest on each other. So you're not like flexing any muscles or anything. When your knees are up and they're like this, you're holding them in that position, bruh.
Siblings here, we do not do that. Can we please stop addressing?
What is this? The fact that it starts with her readjusting is so crazy. You know what, Israel? Bold strategy. I don't think this beats AI Lego videos. Try again. Try again. Not a good strategy. Can we please stop addressing? Can I say also something else? I feel like this is how people treat just female Twitch streamers. Like, I feel like people talk about me or my stream like it's this. And they're like, you're literally just a whore talking about things. It's like, okay, first of all, and second, what? I feel like if you struggle to hear the words that I'm saying when I'm streaming, how do you have a job around women in the real world? Like, I've never dressed insane ever. I feel like the only way that people can think that is like literally if they've never gone outside ever. Oh, chat, who's the coochie mogger? I've been on audio only. That's amazing. That is incredible. It's just, I wait, I wanted to pull this up. Hold up. This caption was also pretty good. In 1,000 years, white people will be regarded as the great old ones of fetish content. Their advanced kink and cuck technologies far outstrip any other race being or to be. Relics such as this will be sequestered to forbidden libraries to be studied by the accredited under supervision. There was one other thing also. Not this, but hold up. The Northern Lion's story, Big Pussy. Huh?
We went to the vet today because Tomo had his vaccination appointment. He's fine, just had to get vaccinated. We have him in the carrier. The carrier is a little tiny, but it's more than big enough for Tomo. Mm-hmm. We go into the vet, and there's a woman sitting there. She's like reading. She's just a patient, or like she's not a patient, but her animal's a patient there. She's reading like a newspaper with her animal next to her. She looks in our cat carrier and says, "You need to give that big pussy some air." That is the first words that she said to us.
Oh shit, really?
Yes. She looked at
I
us
didn't read this on your Twitter, that's too good.
And she just said, she was like 70. She said, "You need to give that big pussy some air." And it was like...
This is true of all 70-year-olds, I'm telling you, especially women. They're either the most insufferable conservatives. Let me pull up a video to explain. Hold. Hold. Pausers. I found it. This is another ancient relic. I feel like 70-year-old white women are either super duper conservative and will get mad at you for saying fuck, but will call people the F slur. Think of this woman.
They just found a batch of new ballots. 40 million new ballots. Kamala Harris is president-elect.
Bullshit! She better not have.
You know what? Hillary Clinton and her are working together. They're hiding files.
What?
She's your president, Tina.
She ain't my president.
She just won the election.
A woman can't run this country.
God, not if it's like you.
Oh, I get it straight.
They just found a...
Or they're like this. Or they're like this.
Words that she said to us.
Oh shit, really?
Yes. She looked at
I
us
didn't read this on your Twitter, that's too good.
And she just said, she was like 70. She said, "You need to give that big pussy some air." And it was like, excuse me?
Oh my god, this thumbnail is so scary. Those are the only two paths you have as a 70-year-old woman in America. You're either the person at the vet that says you need to give that big pussy some air, or you're the other woman I just showed. All right. Close. I'm closing some of these tabs. Wait. Also, sorry, really quickly on the topic of. Oh wait, I missed something. Oh well, it's fine. That's okay. I lost a clip, but someone linked this and said the NRA is doing it too. No, this is like normal, like sex appeal strategy. There's nothing that's like crazy occurring here. She's wearing a shirt and like some shorts, some workout shorts. There's nothing crazy in here.
A lot of you thought I was AI.
This is literally normal, like, sex appeal approach.
Can a robot do that? I'm real, and so is the push to take away your guns. Let's get into it. A ban on America's most popular handgun. That's not stopping criminals. That's targeting America's law-abiding gun owners.
It's probably not AI considering how good the reflections are in the glasses.
If I'm ever forced to defend my life, does it really matter how many rounds I get? Yeah, because pistol grips and adjustable stocks have always been the problem. Cosmetics must be the key to stopping crime. Gun-free zones create one thing. Easy targets.
This slop is crazy.
And when they can't ban your gun, they'll just make it harder to carry. Gun grabbers only care about one thing. Optics and politics. Not your safety. Stay focused on what's real. I'm Taylor, the NRA's favorite robot. Join us today.
I don't see this any differently from like the, you know, the video of like the join the military now and then they use like some e-girl in military gear or whatever. Like that doesn't feel like that's like a different that's normal sex appeal that I feel like most people see all of the time everywhere. This is this is like a different level. This one's just like too intimate. Like there, come on, dude. Did you see Blakely's post about this? No. I did see friend of the channel. We've never talked, but I'm a fan and they follow me, so friend of the channel. Shag posting this. Thanks, babe, for the new format option to let people know that Israel is committing a genocide on Palestinians.
Israel has been committing genocide on Palestinians way before 2023. But the fact that now Israel is paying sex workers on OnlyFans to promote Zionism? Well, two can play at this game, bitch.
Fucking iconic. And your pussy print mocks that Mossad agents. Oh my god. And dude, the edits have been brutal, man. The edits have been so brutal. I can't. No, yes. POV, you're a Hasbara slop fluencer. Stop. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. That's so dope. All right. Let's go. Let me close this stuff. Where's the FLAN? I've been away for a week. What the fuck is going on? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. All right, let me close this stuff. So there was also this. No, not this. Let's talk about Haley Stevens for a second. This is my first time seeing font in blackface. The Haley Stevens for Senate literature is targeting black voters. For audio listeners, I really try. I want you guys to know I try really hard to make the stream audio friendly, but there isn't really a good way to describe the visuals that are on the screen. So if you have the opportunity to, you should look, because it truly is font in blackface. Haley Stevens for Senate, standing up to Trump, fighting for Michigan. HBCU pamphlet. It's got the Black History Month theme. Oh. Oh, fuck, dude. Yeah, it looks like the brochure for Black History Museum. I know. Sorry, I'm afraid that guy clocked it. Oh, Jesus. All right. Anyways, I also wanted to show you guys this. I think I liked it. I just gotta find it real fast. No, not this. There you go, something to keep you guys entertained while I look for the video. Dude, the very first one is crazy.
Kissing Denims' feet.
Oh my god. Christ. Skin Job, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. What the heck? Thanks. Hasan's ankle, thank you for the 36 months. Seductive, thank you for the 46. Type of gift, thank you for the 5 gifts. Fruit Tolerant, thank you so much for the 34. Thanks, guys. Stone, thank you for the gift sub. Also, Joel, thank you for the gift sub. Sorry, I just saw those. All right, here it is. On the topic of Haley Stevens. I don't think I've ever heard a political candidate say that their goal is to win an election. Not do anything once in office. She might be the first person to ever say that out loud in the history of democracy going back to Athens.
Congresswoman, you said today you didn't take money from utilities, but you got checks from consumers and DTE a month before you entered the Senate race.
Yeah, he asked specifically about the Senate race.
And look, to your Senate committee, I believe.
Yeah, he just asked about my current campaign. Yeah, Sam, did you have something?
Will you take donations from consumers and DTE if you
look? I'm running to beat Mike Rogers, and you heard tonight my opponent, make all these wild accusations talking about how employee monies that come from corporations are the root of the problem, except I'm leading the charge to take on DTE right now. I am leading the charge to say that you are screwing over your ratepayers, and I am going to strip your federal funds and force you to cut executive pay. I think that is damn good for the people of Michigan and what they need right now.
But will you
Thank
take
you.
money
Thank you.
from
Thank
them?
you.
You're not answering.
Yeah. Look, I'm trying to get to the United States Senate. Like, you can keep pushing me. I have no idea, if we're going to be able to do these major reforms, but
At least she's honest. Is what I presume the average Haley Stevens voter would say. You know what, Denims? She's growing on me. Shut the fuck up. Isn't that good, guys? You guys don't like that?
Yeah.
You guys don't? No, not a fan of that one. No. All right, let me close this stuff. These Stevens impressions are too good. Wait. Also, can we get a shout out for Maple Takes? Israel comes to me in my dreams. Shut the fuck up, dude. Stop. Just two Michiganders talking about the things that they love about the great state. Things I love about Michigan as a former Michigander, featuring Haley Stevens.
13 years of my life. Coney Islands. Fago. Having all 4 seasons and some of the most beautiful falls. Sticking it to 'em. Sand dunes. A day at the beach where Lake Michigan is like the ocean. Little Verners when you're sick.
Ignoring the cool kid chatter.
Motown. Mackinac Island and its fudge.
Not listening to the coastal elites.
Using the back of your hand to show where you're from. Superman ice cream.
Having a little bit of joy, a little bit of enthusiasm, a little bit of energy.
Calling it pop, not soda. Having so many options on Punchki Day. Detroit-style pizza with the crispy square edges.
Israel.
Oh, no.
That's not a Michigander thing?
No, why would that
What do you think is?
You know, I actually wanted to talk to you about the human rights abuses.
Human rights. Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
Where are you going? What? Haley? Hello?
Yeah. 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 What about human wrongs, huh? What about supporting human wrongs, huh? Like genocide. And then I guess she started crashing out on Maine after seeing this. Abdul Sayed to AIPAC, come for me. You picked Haley Stevens, the least capable candidate in America. If you think you can beat money out of politics, if you think you can beat money out of politics, money in your pocket, Medicare for all, come. I'll tell you what people don't want, money in foreign governments. Let's see.
You know, when AIPAC watches this, come for me. See what happens. Come for me. Like, I know you keep coming, but like, you picked literally the least capable candidate in America, right? And then Chuck Schumer doubles down, and then AIPAC doubles down, and part of me is like, okay, look, if you think you can beat money out of politics, money in your pocket, Medicare for all, come. But I'll tell you what people don't want. They don't want money in a foreign government. They want money here. You know, when AIPAC watches this, come for me. See what happens.
And then she decided to say this. Abdul, we were both on the ballot in 2018. I was capable of winning my competitive primary and general election. You lost. You lost by over 20 points to Gretchen Whitmer, and you will lose to Mike Rogers by talking like this. Yeah, 2018 was I don't know, like a slightly different time. Maybe there were less democratic socialists that were capable of pushing for better candidates. Maybe just like a slightly, I don't know, different. Surely the political landscape on the left has not changed at all in 8 years. Okay. Sure. Everyone in America understands you want to blame all of your problems on Jewish Americans. Huh? What? Question mark? Question mark? But, buddy, let me be clear. I will lower the cost of groceries, ban stock trading for elected officials, stop Trump's abuses of power, and protect Michigan manufacturing. But there's literally a clip of you saying, I don't know if we can do any of that stuff. What? What do you mean? We just watched it. We just watched the clip of you saying.
Look, I'm trying to get to the United States Senate. Like, you can keep pushing me. I have no idea, you know, if we're going to be able to do these major reforms, but
you just but you just said that you don't even know if you can do it. Why are you speaking with certainty all of a sudden? You just said that like a couple days ago, huh? What? And you'll just be a celebrity, whining and writing books to get even richer. You're part of the complainer class looking for their next book or podcast deal. Yeah, famously, establishment Democrats never write books that they try to profit off of. Also, can I say I want my representatives to complain on my behalf? That's my favorite thing about the representatives that I choose to represent me. I like when I vote for someone and then they spend their time complaining and using their platform to complain about the other people who are not doing their job and the people that are making everyone else's lives worse, huh? In fact, I would argue people would like Newsom if he ever just fucking complained about any of the pieces of shit that live in his state or in our country. Huh? Bro, I just want to work for Michigan. Guys, 4.3 million views. This is a brutal ratio. It only has 5,000 likes. 4 million people saw this and 5,000 people liked it. For people who don't know Twitter engagement, here's an idea. This had 10 million views and 160,000 likes. All right. At least a 1 million to 10K like ratio is like reasonable. When 4 million people saw what you wrote and 5,000 of them were like, I guess that's okay. And some of those people liking it were liking it to save it. And 3,000 people replied. Oh. You mean you just want to work for Israel? Pretty cheap trope to slander a Muslim candidate as anti-Semitic. But I guess I can't blame your desperation. Haley, I want you to know eventually what you've done in this primary, taking $30 million from a hostile foreign state will be considered a crime. Good, Mike. Bro, I just want to work for Michigan. Right.
And in the United States Congress, I will continue to fight for the people of Israel. I will continue to fight for Israel's existence. Israel comes to me in my dreams. I see Israel's future, and I know that Israel will continue to exist. And in the United States Congress.
Girl, delete this. Girl, delete this. I thought that was satire. She's like a low-level cartoon villain from Tutorial Island. Yeah, don't worry about it, guys. It's just $30 million. It's just $30 million that was spent by pro-Israel PACs. Just 30 million. Also, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's closer to 50 million at this point. The Austin Ox reply. You wouldn't expect this tone coming from someone down 15 points, but that's how you stick it to them. Oh, thanks, Sarah. Oh. Oh. Bro, I just want to work for Michigan. Israel comes to me in my dreams. I will defend Israel. The fucking blackface font. Oh, dude. Some brutal shit, man. Francesca Hahn clip. We'll watch this in a sec. Actually, this is a good time to watch it now. So I want to watch the Norm Finkelstein interview with Hasan. But before we do that, this is the aura that every single candidate should be having, by the way.
Is there anything in that list of what you told Hasan Piker that you disavow now?
No.
No,
Okay.
Omega Lol.
Is there anything?
I'm not joking. Like, Mamdani did the same exact thing, or very close to the same exact thing, where he was like, yeah, maybe we don't agree on everything. I don't care. Do you disavow him? Huh? No. What? What the? No. All right. Let's watch Ankh and Ankur.
This very sophisticated network of propaganda that has, for many, many decades, I think.
We do gotta go a little faster, though. Sorry. We're not gonna be able to make it through any of this if we try and watch it on 1X.
Deluded many Americans, many people in the Western world into believing that Israel is the most moral nation on earth. Israel is our most important ally, the only democracy in the Middle East. And I think, and I read your book, and I saw a...
Dude. What happened to the stash, bro? Get that shit back immediately. All right. Get that shit back immediately.
sense of nihilism in there as well, given the horrifying nature of the circumstances with Israel's genocide on Gaza. But I really appreciate that you have continuously pushed to uncover the truth. You are, of course, one of the most important chroniclers of the Israeli apartheid.
Like the equivalent of if they balded me, you know what I mean?
Centering the victims and also talking about the sophisticated propaganda network. I'm going to pull my questions really quickly, but I just wanted to give you that introduction first and foremost and explain to you that I will be a little bit nervous, so I apologize.
Well, there's no grounds to be nervous. We're discussing the facts, and there should be sober. I don't see any rational grounds for nervousness. I think one of the peculiarities of the Israel-Palestine conflict, as compared to, say, South Africa, is South Africa never tried to make an, so to speak, intellectual case in defense of its system, for the obvious reason that once the South African struggle, say,
Try 1.5? This is 1.5.
became a center of attention in the United States, it was impossible to defend it. We had just passed through the civil rights movement, the civil rights era, and there was no rational defense for the system of apartheid in South Africa.
Sorry. I don't think it's controversial to say. Norm just sounds normal at 1.5x. This is...
So apart
this
from
is good speed
what you
for
might
him.
call,
I think it makes Hasan a little fast, but it makes Norm perfect speed.
various organizations, in general, you didn't have to make a case. Whereas in the case of Israel, they had mobilized.
So can I just say, totally side note, this is not relevant at all to any of the points. Just need to say this really fast because I'm thinking it, which means the rest of you need to think about it. Norm being in the cut corner is crazy. I've said this before. I was low-key kind of shook when I saw how small Hasan's office is that he streams in. Like, look, I think my office is either the same size or bigger than his office, which is insane. But not that, like, how could his office be so small? It bothers me. But more so, it looks really big on camera. On camera, his setup looks huge. The room looks massive. And then you, like, see the behind the scenes and you're like, wait, that room is tiny. Like, it's not like a broom closet. The lens might be doing it. Yeah, the wide lens also does like a huge take a peek at 1:44:37 slur. Why would I do that? Why would I skip forward to what the fuck is wrong with you? No. I'm interested in the actual conversation. Hello? Not whatever the fuck people are upset about now. Sorry, I got stunlocked. Anyways, yeah. That tiny little corner that he put Norman that is messed up, dude. That's elder abuse. Putting him in the corner? That's fucking elder abuse, bro. Stop.
Very sophisticated, abundant resources, but also sophisticated voices. And they made an intellectual case. And so long as they made it, it was compelling, it was convincing, because there really wasn't. Now remember, I'm an old timer, so I'm talking about the 1970s, 1980s. There wasn't much of an organized intellectual resistance. What happened was, I wrote a book, I believe it was 2012, it was called Knowing Too Much, Why the American Jewish Romance with Israel is Coming to an End. And the thesis of the book was, more and more information was coming out about the nature of Israel and the Israel-Palestine conflict. And the information that was coming out primarily from human rights organizations, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, B'Tselem, the Israeli Center for Human Rights in occupied territories. They were all liberal sources. It's not like you could dismiss Human Rights Watch or Amnesty International. You couldn't credibly dismiss them as anti-Semitic. You couldn't credibly dismiss them as right-wing. You couldn't credibly dismiss them as trucking in invidious Jewish stereotypes. In fact, a large portion of their staff were Jewish, including the executive director, say in the case of Human Rights Watch, it was Kenneth Roth. So, and American Jews are overwhelmingly moderate to liberal in their political sensibilities. So there came a point of what you might call critical mass. You couldn't reconcile your political, ideological convictions with the facts that were coming out. And I predicted roughly around 2017, 2012 or 2017, I can't remember now. No, it was 2017. No, it was 2012. I predicted that this American Jewish support for Israel was going to begin to go on the wane. And then came Gaza. And Gaza was kind of overload. You couldn't any longer, strive as you may, you couldn't any longer ignore it. And so American Jews faced a crisis. And what I imagined would happen now, it had reached critical mass with Gaza, and everything fell apart. Aside from the handful of fanatics and crazies, it was indefensible. And I think now, you can never say these things with certainty because the news cycle passes. And maybe it could return to what it was before. The fancy word is the status quo ante. But I don't think so. I think it's pretty much over, the romance between American Jews and Israel, because it's untenable. Jews are not.
And I have to say, it's kind of cool that, like, the one benefit of living in this time, in this day and age, despite all the anti-woke shit, because I gotta say, I don't know how many people agree with me on this. One thing that really pisses me off is how much the anti-woke crowd has convinced people that things are more woke and that the left has gone too far or whatever. And there was a counterculture to that. Like, people just didn't complain when they saw black people on the TV. Going back and watching, like, Suits, it's like, oh, that's funny. Like, if they made Suits today exactly as is, these fucking morons on the internet would be like, look, they made it woke. The head of the best firm in the best law firm in New York is a black woman. It's like, I don't know what to tell you guys. They made shows with black people in them all the time, and nobody cared. Like, literally, no one cared. The only people that saw that and thought anything about it were like the super duper racists. And everyone else was like, oh, okay. And there's a lot of like rewriting of history where they're like, well, no, I wasn't upset about that because it was different. No, I wasn't. No, if that came out today, I would be fine with it. It's like, no, you wouldn't. You guys said Snow White failed because the main lead had back hair. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Are you good? Like, huh? And like, I'm sorry. Yes, are there TV shows and movies that have women in them or black people in them that aren't good and aren't funny? Yeah. Just like every single like Seth Rogen movie. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Yes, as a treat, women get to not be funny sometimes. just like men all the time, okay? Just like, you know, as a treat, you can have black people that aren't funny sometimes as a treat. All right? It's not that hard. It's not that difficult. Denims with another horrible take. Nice try, motherfucker. Nice bait. Wait, human beings have hair? Slandering Seth Rogen is crazy. Dude, the Seth Rogen movies are not funny. If you go rewatch some of them, they're not funny. Listen, he might be based as a person, but a lot of the movies he's in do not hold up and they're not funny. I'm sorry, it's true. It's true. They're all the same too. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how bad they are. If you think they're funny, you should think they're funny the way that like people like The Room. You know what I mean? Watch the food movie Not Stone and try not to kill yourself. He was in a news show that was really good. Yeah, but that's like saying like what was that stupid movie? The Jules movie? Jewel movie. What the fuck was it called? Like Crown Jewels. Uncut Gems, thank you. That's like saying, what's the name of the lead actor? I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. I genuinely, Adam Sandler. Okay, there we go. It's like me saying Adam Sandler movies are not funny. Like, I'm sorry. Go back and watch Adam Sandler movies. A lot of them are not funny. And then someone being like, excuse you, Uncut Gems was really good. It's like, okay. Congratulations. Okay, you got one. I didn't say that there's no way that he could ever be in a good movie or that like, and I understand there's some level of like typecasting, right? And you're kind of stuck in certain roles, but like, you know, Punch Drunk Love is the only other worthwhile Sandler role. Seth Rogen's role is to be the archetypical harmless boyfriend to white women who is occasionally funny on the side. Yeah, I think I would mostly agree to that. I would mostly agree to that. Yeah. Seth Rogen is 70% better than Adam Sandler. I mean, I didn't bring up Adam Sandler to compare the two of them. I brought him up to say that like he has one movie that people respect and they don't really respect any of the other movies that he's ever been in. And I would say Seth Rogen is probably the same, where maybe he's got a new TV show that he's really good in and it's a really good TV show. But like, if you go back and watch any of the other old Seth Rogen movies, you're like, these are really not good. These are really, I don't know who's doing him dirty, if he's doing himself dirty, but this is not good. Why did I bring that up? Why did I bring that up? No. Oh, right. I remember. Yeah, I was saying that, like, it sucks to live in the anti-woke time where everyone is, like, misremembering how woke 1 was and how woke 1.0 is destroyed us. And that's why we had to have that's why we all had to become Nazis. It's like, wait, what the fuck? No, there were plenty of, like, TV shows and movies that had woke things in them. You just didn't care. And then you got convinced that this is what's ruining society, that feminism is destroying our world because, I don't know, you're insane. There is one nice thing about living in this time, which is people's opinions shifting about Israel. Are you talking about Shu? No, I'm just talking about in general that people, I mean, not yesterday, Sunday, we watched a little bit of that Channel 5 interview where like Nick Fuentes is like, but woke 1 and like society and the left, everything became so cancel culture and that's why everyone had to become Nazis. And it's like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? What? No. What are you hallucinating?
Right wing by nature.
Yeah.
And they could not tolerate, they couldn't absorb or reconcile what was happening.
So we're gonna get into the book quickly, because I feel like there are a lot of historical analogs you utilize when comparing. You start off with October 7, and you immediately in the beginning of the book, you not only document the ways in which the Israeli government engaged in atrocity, but you actually hyper focus instead on the Western media, the Western officials, the international institutions, and how they failed. You wrote the Gaza's Gravediggers with the explicit purpose of documenting the institutional corruption that supported the genocide of Palestinians rather than Israel's actions themselves, though. That was a deliberate effort. You open the book referencing the fifth labor of Hercules, in which he's ordered to clean out the Augean stables filled with animal poop. This metaphor extends to the entirety of the book. Can you explain the reference to both myself and the viewers, and why do you believe it's necessary to focus the story on the institutions that insulated and supported Israel rather than Israel itself?
Well, I think that's a very good question. I did not attack Biden. I have some passing remarks about Mr. Blinken, nothing substantive. I certainly didn't focus much attention on Mr. Netanyahu, on his cohorts, because the simple reason is, when I wrote several books on Gaza, the record was not known. It was sort of hidden away, collecting dust in human rights reports. Even the human rights organizations, they do their research, but then there's supposed to be a second step. They're supposed to lobby on the basis of your research. The second step never came. The report simply collected dust. And so I wanted to preserve the historical record. And the purpose was because nobody had done that kind of work. I could say a large chunk of my life now sits on my bookshelves at home, with just not thousands, but tens of thousands of pages printed out of human rights reports. I wanted to document for history the record. That wasn't necessary with Gaza. Gaza now, everybody knows who wants to know. Everybody knows what's going on. And I felt to simply document the record again was a waste of time. The record is known, and also the perpetrators are known. They'll probably, in my generation, the slogan was, hey, LBJ, how many kids did you kill today? Referring to Lyndon Baines Johnson, the president during the war in Vietnam. I think Genocide Joe is going to go down also.
Yeah.
That will be remembered. So all of that seems superfluous to go through the record again. If I had great narrative powers, I would have done it. I don't know if you've read, I don't know if even...
Sort of comically, it's funny that all of the people that make such a stink about the woke 1.0, woke 2, you guys are making us into Nazis, you guys are just being so leftist, and that's why we're all becoming Nazis, is that those are the same people that will try to morally shame you for saying, I don't give a shit if fucking Biden dies, if Genocide Joe dies to cancer, fuck that guy, that guy's a piece of shit, he's complicit in the genocide, he insisted on running again despite the fact that people wanted a primary and thought he was too old to win. Why the fuck would I care about some fucking piece of shit politician who should have stepped aside, who shouldn't have been complicit, who had the power to not be complicit and chose to be anyways? And it's the same exact people that are, it's rightoids or centrists that love to be like, you guys are just constantly turning us into Nazis with your insane requests to be, quote, treated like people. And then you say, I don't care if any of these people die. And they're like, oh, how could you say that? They were just doing their job. Okay, they were just, you don't understand. It's the president of the United States' job to kill Arab people, especially children. Okay, that's literally his job. It's what? What the fuck are you, what the fuck are you talking about? Huh?
Your viewers will know, it was a wonderful, wonderful book written on the Israeli invasion of Lebanon in 1982. It's long forgotten now, but between 15 and 20,000 Palestinian and Lebanese were killed, overwhelmingly civilians. It was, up until Gaza, was by far the biggest bloodletting. And there was a British historian, a British journalist, Robert Fisk, and he wrote this book, Pity the Nation. It's really breathtaking. It's a breathtaking piece of narrative history. I don't have those narrative powers. I have good expository powers. I can sit down, analyze a document, and I can logically go through it, and I don't leave any wiggle room. You're cornered, you're trapped, it's case closed. So I didn't waste my time on the documenting the facts. What I did do was I wanted to look at agencies, institutions from which you expect better. The International Court of Justice, the International Criminal Court, the UN Commissions of Inquiry, Amnesty, Human Rights Watch, and where you expect better, and to hold them accountable, not just the usual suspects, but also other people who, because of careerism, cupidity, cowardice, they sold their souls. Now, I want to be clear. The record was not terrible by the international institutions. It was not. We don't want a straw man. They were not. It was not terrible. The statements by the UN senior officials, like Philippe Lazzarini, the head of UNRWA, Gutierrez, a lot of it was quite good. And I acknowledge that. But there were other things that were terrible. Now, so far I've spoken in abstract.
We're gonna dial in on that for sure.
So let me just, okay, since that's coming later.
Yeah.
Then, so that was my, so to speak, my modus operandi.
Yeah.
When I wrote Gaza, an inquest into its martyrdom, nobody knew any of the facts. And it's a terrible story. I won't call it tragic, because the Greek term tragic means the fate was preordained. It was not preordained. This was systematic, methodical, and intentional.
Yeah.
But it's a horrible history. And I wrote.
Do you guys remember? Why does the mic have the orange airsoft cap? LMAO, stop. Do you guys remember when me and a bunch of other people were ringing the alarm bells on? I'm sorry. Gaza is the world's largest open-air prison that is some of the most surveilled, like, area on the planet, if not the most surveilled. And they didn't know that October 7th was something to be concerned about, that there would be an attack on October 7th? And myself and a handful of other people said that, rightfully said that, and were called anti-Semitic, and we're saying, well, you're saying that they deserved it. It's like, wait, no. I'm saying you don't understand how this would give Israel the leverage, the social leverage they would need to genocide these people that they want to genocide? Netanyahu's talked about wanting to fucking raise Gaza. This would give him the opportunity to do so. And is it not insane that this is the most surveilled few miles on this planet, and they had no way of knowing anything? That just strikes me as odd. And again, getting called anti-Semitic for that. And then the reports come out that Netanyahu knew. And he chose to ignore it because he thought it wasn't a big deal. And myself and a bunch of other people said, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? And then more reports came out later that the festival was specifically moved right next to the Gaza Strip. And it's like, okay. All right. I'm glad all of us got called anti-Semitic for correctly pointing out the truth and what actually happened. Okay. Excellent. They talk about that in this interview. Well, yeah, I mean, again, anyone who tried to talk about any of these issues and raise like some alarm bell, or like ring some alarm bells and raise some red flags about this, got really fucking pissed and just called everyone else anti-Semitic. It's like, it's so insane. I just like don't understand.
Wrote to chronicle. This time, though, I wrote to indict. To hold these people accountable. And I still hope they will be held accountable.
Yeah.
There are certain officials who either should be censured or they should be ousted from office. And I named them very clearly.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that, but I do want to start with your prologue, because the book opens briefly with October 7th, but it actually very quickly shifts into Nat Turner's 1831 slave revolt. And despite ordering his followers to kill all white people, he's now revered as an American freedom fighter, which you also talk about. You ask, before he stands condemned, mustn't it be asked, except to live and die in thraldom? What alternative did Nat Turner have? You also mentioned at the time, revered white abolitionist William Lloyd Garrison expressed horror over the events that took place, but blamed the white slave-owning population, saying, we have warned our countrymen of the danger of persisting in their unrighteous conduct. I've also utilized the Nat Turner rebellion example when referencing October 7th. You have as well. I've seen your interactions on Piers Morgan, which is, an interesting affair. We can talk about that later as well. But I wanted to hear, do you view yourself as a modern day equivalent of the white abolitionist after writing about the Zionist oppression of Palestine for over 4 decades now. And obviously, you're probably a little too humble to answer that in a similar manner. But what other warnings have been ignored that you've been ringing the alarm bells on?
I can't tell. Are you being sarcastic? We also got to talk about the Pakistani grooming gangs in the UK as well. This is a sarcastic message, right? You're just being sarcastic? This is a joke not landing?
First of all, one has to acknowledge one's precursors, and one has to acknowledge one's current collaborators. There have been many people. It's still a small number, but there's still a number. My precursors were people like Noam Chomsky, Israel Shahak from the country Israel, Edward Said. They came before me, and in many ways, I learned from them both their steadfastness.
I don't condone Israel's action, nor do I condone racist Pakistani gangs. See, if you had come at any other time, on any other day, I would entertain you and talk about how wrong you are and how much of a fucking moron you are. But unfortunately, today is not the day for you. You should have come on a different day. Do not come. I will not allow some random moron to derail the stream. Guys, I hallucinated Pakistani roaming gangs that are raping at 99% rates. Can I make this your problem? And you know what's fucked up about that chatter? I just did ban appeals yesterday. So that chatter is not going to get looked at for like 5 years. Good luck, buddy. Your account is fucked. Your account is fucked.
And also their mental powers, their dedication, their conscientiousness. I would say now I've entered the age where they're gone. They're not on the scene anymore. And so the mantle has, so to speak, with the baton has been passed to me. I don't believe I had any great powers of prediction. A lot of my analysis since October 7th, I believe, has been borne out. But in general, those who predicted that if Israel continued with the occupation, it was going to be a dramatic deterioration in Israeli society. There was a fellow, I suspect you've never even heard of him, Yeshayahu Leibovich, and he was Israel's great philosopher. He had 4 PhDs, a really smart guy. And he, along with a certain number of others, said as early as 1967, this occupation is going to be a complete disaster. That if you don't end it, Israel, he coined the phrase, by the way, Yeshayahu Leibovich, who was the most revered intellectual in Israel. He coined the phrase, Israel is turning into a country of Judeo-Nazis.
People will say that term actually originated from David Duke sometimes.
No. David Duke was not bright enough to originate it.
So what's interesting on that point that you just mentioned is one of the...
Dude, Norm Finkelstein roasting people is always so good. He is not bright enough to, to have coined that phrase.
One of the examples that I often use is the horror in reaction to the Deir Yassin massacre from the likes of Albert Einstein, who has gone back and forth and has a more complex, I think, experience with Zionism and what it turned into. But his commitment to binationalism and living alongside peacefully with the Jewish and the Palestinian population was very clear. And he is the example that I usually go to, which is really interesting because The Atlantic actually wrote a whole article on me deploying the Albert Einstein example, saying that this was actually wrong, that Albert Einstein was a huge Zionist and loves Israel, and I was lying about his background. Are you familiar with some of the things that Einstein has said about?
I've read his writings. I have to say I'm a bit of a skeptic about the possibilities of coexistence.
We're going to get to that as well.
Between the Jews and the indigenous Arab population, because there was such a sense of contempt for Arabs, Muslims, the indigenous population, and such a sense of a double kind of superiority by the Jewish settlers.
The other thing too is, I forget like the really famous guy. Like, there was, oh man. There's this Twitter post ages ago from this guy that's pretty well known, and he had like a video or like a post with like a photo in it where he was literally saying like, I'm gonna blank on it. I have so little memory of it. A really famous guy drill. No, it was a post of him basically espousing the same like, this was promised to us 3,000 years ago. I think it was like a post, and he had specifically, explicitly said, we are the chosen people for this land. Like, we are literally the chosen people. And it's like, how do you, if someone knows who the fuck I'm talking about and what the fuck post I'm talking about, great, you can link it, but otherwise don't worry about it you don't have to get too caught up in it. Was it Rappaport? No, was it? Maybe if someone can find the post, I can just show it on screen. But even if you look at just the interviews that people have done, both in Israel with Israelis, or I know that there's that one guy on like, I think TikTok, who does interviews on like Omegle with like, or whatever the equivalent is, with some random IDF soldiers, and they will explicitly say, yeah, we're the chosen people. We are the chosen people. We have more rights than everyone else here. How do you square that away with the idea that everyone is just supposed to sing Kumbaya and work together when one group overwhelmingly thinks that they deserve more rights? I'm not saying it's impossible, but I understand Norm Finkelstein's opinion of like, I'm a little skeptical at the idea that this is something that's manageable. It's literally contradictory. Yeah.
There was the superiority of being European.
Yeah.
And then that was compounded, or you might say determined by the sense of Jews feeling superior. That sense of superiority born of a certain notion of Jews being chosen people. And then there was just the sense of the backwardness of the Arab Muslim community in general. So when you fill out the historical picture, the probability of a real coexistence among equals, I think, was not really very plausible. There were some individuals who weren't bad. The first head of the Hebrew University, a fellow named Judah Magnus, I think he was a pretty decent fellow so far as I can tell reading his stuff, but I don't think it was really very possible. I think the most honest formulation came from now a right-wing Israeli historian. He wasn't always right-wing. Benny Morris,
who you've had the pleasure of debating.
Yeah, he said that the idea of transfer is the euphemism for expulsion.
Mm-hmm.
He said the idea of transfer was inbuilt and inevitable in Zionism. I think that's a more honest reckoning of where things stood back then. So I'm not a believer that there was a real possibility of coexistence, though it's never been. It's certainly got much uglier in recent years. You could say the ugliness is either more honesty or, the expression that hypocrisy is the complement that vice pays to virtue. The older generation, they weren't so in your face. You mentioned Menachem Begin. Menachem Begin, he would be considered now the far left in Israel.
Yeah.
He would. But during his first term of office, he was elected in 1977. Well, you know what one of his first acts was? He abolished torture. Israel was practicing torture against Palestinian detainees from right after the 1967 war. Now this guy, Begin was...
He's too woke for Israel now.
Exactly. Begin was a lawyer by training, and he was a stickler about the law. And he knew torture was illegal. So he did abolish it. I mean, nowadays, you couldn't even imagine that. It's not even conceivable.
Nowadays, the only time that Israel ever prosecutes any war criminals in their ranks is when they intercept the communications of ICC prosecutors in an effort to utilize the complementarity principle against the ICC to...
I mean, it's so bad that when you hit the translate button on like any official Israel account or any official minister or head of state or anything like that, any politician, or sometimes even just some random IDF like soldier accounts, you press the translate button and it's like the Hitler particles are off the chart. It's like, oh, okay. Oh. Huh. Oh. Is that right?
Tell you something. The Jews are chosen. We, the Jewish people, are chosen. I know. A lot of people get upset when I say that. It's in the Torah. I didn't make this shit up.
Oh, it's in your old book. Oh, I didn't know we were pulling out old books. Oh, okay. Well, my old book says, go fuck yourself. All of your socials deleted immediately. To the coal mines. That's what mine says. If you are, if you say heinous shit on the internet, you work in the coal mines for forever. If you're a misogynist, sexist, bigoted, or saying any of this shit, which is At least some of these. Yeah. That's what my old book says. Yup. And my old book is better than your old book. My old book is so much better. Yeah. What? I don't understand when people pull this shit up. I don't understand when people are like, well, the Bible says. I don't give a shit what the Bible says. I don't give a fuck what the Bible says. Why would you think I give a fuck? Huh? Oh, well, the Torah says, why would I? The Quran, why would I give a fuck? Explain to me why I would give a fuck when we live in a country of separation of church and state.
If I made it up, you think I would be podcasting right now? If I was this brilliant to be the one that said the Jews are chosen, you think I would be podcasting right now? I'd be sitting, owning buildings somewhere. It's in the Torah. The Jews are the chosen people. I didn't make it up. There's plenty of other people, namely Hashem, that you could take.
Do you guys think anything good has ever happened when one group of people have said, we are the chosen people, unlike you? You guys think anything good has ever come of that? When one group of people thinks that they are better than or chosen by God over this other group of people? I think only good can happen, actually. Nothing bad. It can only good happen, right? Or was it the other way around?
Pick it up with. The Jews are chosen, but we're not perfect. No one ever said the Jews are perfect. Most importantly, the Jews never said that we are perfect. Why we are held to unattainable standards of perfection more than
the unattainable standard of not being pro-genocide? I don't know, man. I think that that's a pretty attainable standard. That I would actually argue most Jewish people, especially young Jewish people, they are capable of holding that standard of being against genocide. I don't know. It's actually not that hard. I just don't understand.
any other race, religion in the history of race religions is beyond me. We're chosen, but we're not perfect. We'll be the first to tell you. We ain't perfect. Israel ain't perfect. And we never said we were. And Israel never said it was. I'll tell you something.
Defending Israel's genocide by saying, they're not perfect, okay? All right? They're not perfect. Yeah, they do little oopsies sometimes. Yeah, there are arrest warrants out for, you know, Netanyahu. But, like, we're not perfect. Speaking like my ex after I caught them cheating is crazy. Oh my God.
Act as though they're doing a show, a mock trial, basically, to hopefully stop the ICC from further prosecuting their war crimes, which again we'll talk about. I wanted to continue in the epilogue.
I want to just return to the Nat Turner analogy, just as a matter of background. When October 7th first happened, the first couple of days, I don't know if you remember.
Oh, I remember.
Right, the first couple of days, it just looked like a prison breakout.
Yeah.
And they said about 50 people were killed. And, you know, 50 people, that's not even the blink of an eye. So I immediately made my sentiments known that I supported.
I also remember that.
The prison breakout. And I had no qualms about it, no compunction. But then it became clear that something much bigger happened. And when something much bigger happened, it was not, you know, it was hard to try to think it through, to figure out, well, where do I stand? Probably on the order of 1,200 people were killed. I would say it's the evidence is pretty clear. About 850 were civilians.
Yeah.
And of those 850 civilians, as of now, I've read all the available material, overwhelmingly were killed by Palestinian militants.
Yeah.
So that's a large number. You can't get around that. That's a large number. When Sabra and Shatila happened in 1982, the massacre in Lebanon, the initial numbers that came out, they turned out to be low. initial numbers that came out were about 800 Palestinians were slaughtered in Sabra and Shatila. In fact, it was probably closer to 2,000. But even when 800 came out, that was considered a very large number.
Yeah.
And then if you take, you're from Egypt, when Sisi came to power, he committed the massacre at Rabat Square with the nonviolent protesters. And the estimate by Human Rights Watch was about 1,000 were killed. And that was seen as it was the largest single massacre in Egyptian history. So that seemed a large number.
Yeah.
And now I'm faced with about 850 civilians killed on October 7th. And what do you do with it? What do you do with it? Now, under normal circumstances, namely for the last 40 years, I don't say this with pride, I'm just saying it factually, I normally would have consulted Professor Chomsky. I considered his moral judgment, if not impeccable, near impeccable, and I usually deferred to his moral judgment. But he wasn't available. And I was sweating for around a week because I knew a lot of people were going to want to know what I think. And I was torn. I was torn between the fact that I knew, from having spent about the last 20 years, I knew what had been done to the people of Gaza. I knew the details, the horror of what those folks endured. On the other hand, there was a mass slaughter. And what do you do with it? And I thought, I walked the streets trying to figure this out. And it happened that the last book I had written was on wokeness, and I had read a lot about the abolitionists. And I had read, of course, about Nat Turner. So I turned to Nat Turner, the rebellion, and I said, you know what? Roughly, it's about the same thing. What the slaves endured was not much different. Gaza from 1948, when it was under Egyptian rule.
And it is insane to me that like Zionists can't seem to understand this. Like the really super pro-Israel people, be them Christian or Jewish, just in general. What they seem to be unable to understand is you don't have to be pro-murder to be against the genocide against the Palestinians. Like no one on the left is happy that any civilians were dying on October 7th. If you're talking to someone or you're looking at someone online who was, that's a Nazi. That's not someone on the left. That's just a Nazi. But there is no number of people that could have died on October 7th to have made genocide an acceptable response. Like, that's not... Because no one was okay with that to begin with.
From 1948, it was repeatedly described as a concentration camp by outside visitors. Even the extreme right wing, head of Israel's National Security Council, Giora Eiland, who's still among us. He was one of the advisors during the Gaza genocide. He described in 2004, he described Gaza as a concentration camp. He said it's a huge concentration camp. So now I knew what they had endured. I knew there had been a massacre, a slaughter of significant dimensions. And then what do you do with it? I saw Nat Turner rebellion seem more or less analogous. The first order, kill all white people. And that's what they proceeded to do. They went from house to house, smashed the skulls of women, killed men. Even in this case, they did behead babies. Not on October 7th, but during the Nat Turner rebellion. So now I have the analogy, but then there's a second step. You got the analogy, where do you stand on it? And I thought the right place to look were the abolitionists. They were of sublime moral character. They were courageous, they were consistent, and they were very smart. You don't get people smarter than Charles Sumner, Frederick Douglass. They were really impressive. And when I went back to read their writings, what became very clear was they would not condemn Nat Turner.
Yeah.
They would not. They condemned the white system that forced Nat Turner to do what he did, the coercive system that created Nat Turner. And then I felt, okay, if I'm wrong, then the white abolitionists and black abolitionists, they're wrong.
Including Frederick Douglass.
Frederick Douglass is an interesting case.
Yeah.
Because the abolitionists were against violence.
Yeah.
They believed in what they called moral suasion. But Douglass described Nat Turner as one of our glorious martyrs, one of our revolutionary fathers. Same thing, W.E.B. Du Bois.
Yeah.
They all acclaim Nat Turner. Now, what's also interesting is the black people at the time, they did not condemn Nat Turner. They were exactly.
Well, I know that from your book.
Yeah. he came to occupy a place in African American folklore, and he became a folk hero. They would refer to him as, quote, Old Nat's War, because they understood whatever the methods, whatever the horrors, and as you quoted William Lloyd Garrison, he recognized horrors occurred. But where did it come from? Ultimately, what was its deep source? Its deep source was the desire for freedom, the struggle for human dignity. Maybe it was wrongly expressed, but there's another question. What option did they have? What option, if you're speaking honestly, what option did the people of Gaza have? They tried diplomacy. They tried international law. They tried nonviolent civil resistance. They tried everything. And it was all a dead end. And as you probably remember, by October 6, 2023, the only game in town was, would the Saudis join the Abraham Accords?
Yeah.
Gaza had been forgotten. Well, and then the rest is, so to speak, to quote the cliche, the rest is history.
Yeah. So going into this analogy a little bit further, because you brought up the fact that binationalism was destined to fail from the start, given the supremacist attitudes from early Zionists, doubly supremacist considering that there's the European colonialism aspect to it, but then also Jewish supremacy directly. I agree with that, but we live in the United States of America, which is a country that is objectively white supremacist in its fundamentals, and yet we now live in a country that has obviously a very complex history and still continues to struggle with offering any kind of real restitution.
Holy shit, I didn't know it was sped up when Norm was talking. Yeah, sorry. You don't understand. Listen, I love Norm and everything, and he's great on Palestine, and he's great on Israel, but he does talk really slow. I have to 1.5 him.
To Black Americans, and yet I always go back to that same comparison about the end of the abolition of the apartheid, and that is what that is part of the reason why I present the one-state solution and forcible reintegration.
It's also the same reason why anytime I see, and I think this is a really good tool in the tool belt for those who are for freeing of Palestine. The argument that we can't free Palestine because then the fucking Arabs will kill all of the Jews is, it's just insane. It's like, it's objectively insane. And it's also the same exact argument used to not free slaves in the United States for decades. Oh, well, we're going to free them and then all of the white people are going to get killed. And it's like, you cannot use your fears and your projected opinions on what you would do to a people and use that as a reason to continue to oppress a people. Like, it's also a self-fulfilling prophecy. People who have self-determination and agency don't feel the need to engage in violence. Correct. Absolutely correct. It's also self-reporting that they're saying that they've been so awful to a group of people that they fear reprisals for their actions. Correct. Also true. Yeah. It's just insane. It's just so... These poor chatters. I just think it's odd how this is so important to everyone in the United States. Don't you think if we were funding Germany's weapons as they were mass killing Jews in the 1930s and 40s, don't you think that, like, people would be uncomfortable with that? If you pay taxes in the US, your money, at least some of it, has gone to murdering children that don't deserve to die. Or maiming children that didn't deserve to be maimed. Or destroying homes of children or families that didn't deserve that. When your taxpayer dollars are funding a genocide, you're going to care a little bit more about what's happening. Or you should. Or you should. If empathy is too difficult of a concept, having empathy for people that are being genocided, if that's too difficult, you should at least care because that's where our money is going. So who should and shouldn't open their borders to Palestine? I think you might want to, like, check up on the history of the region a little bit. Okay. Maybe just a smidge. maybe, I don't know, look at like the right to return protests. When did Israel get their last payment from the US? How do you have such strong opinions when you don't know anything about the conflict? I'm asking questions. Hey, I'm going to be honest with you, buddy. I think this conversation might be a little above what you're down to talk about. So I think you should just come back tomorrow. You should spend the day reading up and come back tomorrow. Because if I was giving you history lessons, we would be here all day. So just come back tomorrow. Okay, buddy? All right. Because I don't know if you know this. There's this website. It's called Google. Google. And I am actually, I know, it's shocking. I am not Google. And you can actually go and look. You can ask it questions, just so you know. And you can know all the answers to all these questions. I would sit here and explain it to you, but I have other stuff that I wanted to talk about. No way, unsubbed. Just the last day, there was a Congress vote on additional billions. They literally just got a $3.3 billion bump earlier this week. Yay. Also, sorry, I have to interrupt this Norm Finkelstein broadcast for a moment because I just saw this. Hey, so, just really quick. YouTube creator iDubbbz reveals that Ethan Klein lied about dropping his lawsuit against him and now has received an upcoming court date. Ethan previously confirmed he would drop the lawsuit after receiving significant backlash online and an apology from iDubbbz. I am shocked that the guy who has been caught lying 500 times would lie again. I am personally, I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
Yes, I do have important news. I'm going to try to be as candid about this as possible. I have my points written down in front of me. So here is the news. Here's the important news. Number one, Ethan Klein has not dropped the lawsuit. Number two, we've been actively dealing with it for the past couple of months. Number three, I'm bringing it up now because now we have court dates, basically. And so, you know, it's becoming a lot more real. I'm not particularly surprised, but I am disappointed.
So, like, what's the calculus look like for Ethan Klein exactly? I made this guy make a video apologizing to me. He made the video and it was incredibly earnest, so earnest that I replied to it with, "Hi, Ian. I appreciate the thoughtful apology. It means a lot. I've instructed my attorneys to drop the lawsuit entirely." And then you're going to proceed with the lawsuit anyways? Question mark, question mark, question mark? What? So there's a couple things I want to talk about here. There's no calculus. He's just doing this to waste iDubbbz's time and money. He doesn't care about winning. He cares about wasting Ian's time and money. But like, your image as a content creator is more important than the destruction of someone else's image. I mean, in general, you shouldn't, like, everyone should abide by those rules because it makes your life better. You shouldn't do things that just make other people's lives worse for no reason. Ideally, you do things that make your life better. What the fuck is going on? You think Ethan is hurting for money? I mean, I don't even know how much money he would be getting in Canada court. I just don't know enough about Canada. I know that, like, American courts tend to be a little bit crazier with the payouts than Canadian court. So it has to just be, like, a vengefulness, right? But, like, you're really gonna live out the idiom? What is it, like? Holding a grudge is like drinking poison and expecting it to impact the other person or whatever. Like, this is just, this hurts you more than it hurts him. I don't even understand. I mean, at this point, Ethan has enough money scrolled away that I don't think he really cares about his self-image anymore. I completely disagree. Point in case Asmongold. Money doesn't have to be an issue for someone to care about their image and their reputation. In fact, I would argue that usually people with a lot of money, the only thing that they care about is their image and reputation. Because it's all that, like, you have that you can't have. Look at Musk. Elon Musk is another great example of, like, he has more money than he knows what to do with, and he's just so addicted to trying to get people to like him. But unfortunately, he's such an unlikable piece of shit that he can't do it. So he just keeps throwing himself out. He keeps throwing himself out there and failing and failing and failing. He can't let Ian go. Suing him is the only way he can stay in his life. So, yeah, I see a lot of people. We'll talk about it in 1 second. I'm just, like, breaking this down piece by piece. I see a lot of people being like, he's going to use the apology against him, but that's not, from my brief understanding, that's not how Canada court works. It's not like the United States, where in the United States, apologizing can be an admission of guilt. But American courts and, like, American lawyers are sort of expected to do this, like, show and dance. And my very brief understanding is that Canadian court is very different. And that an apology shows, like, remorse, which means that, like, judges are generally kinder to you and more likely to, like, let you off the hook. And say, okay, well, this is clearly not malicious intent if you were open to trying to right the wrongs or whatever. Again, also, it has its, I'm sure, yeah, it depends on the province. I'm sure that there's different provinces and whatever. I don't know if it's, I'm not sure about all of the details. I'm not going to pretend to be an internet lawyer. So I don't think it's that. I think he's just like, well, watch the clip. I think he's just like being a freak as per usual. Wait, we didn't even finish watching the clip. Sorry, really fast, just so people don't keep bringing it up. Or not so people don't keep bringing it up, so that people bringing it up don't have to keep bringing it up. Ethan joked about not dropping the lawsuit against iDubbbz and said he could use Ian's apology.
I think so far so good. I'm feeling that I like the admission he's made here. If I was still suing it, that would be a problem for him, but I'm not. I mean, but I'm not. Right? That'd be pretty wild if I was just like, psych, and now I'm adding this to the complaint.
Ha 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 ha.
Ooh.
Ha 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 ha. Just one more lawsuit and the reputation won't be dirt, bro. Just one more and it won't be dirt, bro. Ha 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 ha. As I said at Denims, I already saw that clip and what I said doesn't change anything. If I said, Well, you said that you smell like farts, so I get to get $1 million. Me saying it doesn't make it true. Hello? If he says, now I get to use this, it doesn't make it true. Canada court is not going to be 1-to-1 U.S. court. Him saying it doesn't mean anything. He said he was going to win his lawsuit against me. I'm surprised you're still listening to everything Ethan Klein is saying with regard to the law, considering how wrong he was with me. Maybe consider that he lies all the time. Just as an idea. Just really quickly. Maybe. As a suggestion. It's capped at $500,000 Canadian. Maybe he's trying to make it back his losses. On that note, is he still appealing? I mean, as far as I know, he's still appealing. There hasn't been any filing yet, but I think the filing, he has like 2 weeks or something to file the appeal. I think he knows it won't better his reputation. This is just narcissistic retaliation for his hurt ego and public image. I just don't understand. Sorry, we'll get back to this.
There really isn't much else I can say about the matter right now.
Sorry, really quickly. I would be a great co-host. Just an idea. Please consider this as my official application to be your co-host. What? What did you say? What? I didn't hear that. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
Because, you know.
How's it right? Thank you for the 5 gift subs. Thanks.
It's legal. It's legal. So, yeah, we're going to keep pushing on. That doesn't change anything here. For the rest of the stream, I am going to be doing what we normally do. So, yeah, that is it. I'm not going to be answering any questions in chat related to it. But there you go. I didn't even make you guys wait too long. Congratulations.
All that matters is the extremely fragile ego. They're going to twist reality to suit their self-soothing and self-victimization. I'm just kind of in awe that Moist Critical made that whole video basically talking about how, like, no one should be supporting these random-ass lawsuits. And yeah, whatever, iDubbbz's stream was disrespectful, which, like, I'm not going to bother getting into it. I think it's insane that, like, Ethan can spend all day and all night defaming or harassing or whatever word you want to use, like sitting there and talking about Ian's sex life and Anissa's sex life and then accusing her of being a pedophile and then being like, oh, not even an apology, not a my bad, just a, oh, I'm getting word this isn't the case. All right, I'll delete the other story. Like, that he can engage in such reckless, unbelievable behavior. And then anytime anyone else is making a joke about him and saying, hey, because again, the entire reason that iDubbbz did that segment was to say, look at how little smoke Ethan has for people like, or sorry, for specifically Destiny. If this was anyone else, if anyone else had typed out this message and had done a stream saying the stuff that this guy had said, he would have filed 40 lawsuits. And then he sued him. It's like, so yeah, sorry, just to say, I Moist Critical has made an entire video explaining how you're an insane person and then you decide to double down and be an even more insane person. It's just insane. I just like don't have words. I don't have words. I feel like this stunt will not endear Ethan Klein to the courts. I also feel like this, I mean, again, I don't know enough about Canadian court. I think most people in here probably, unless you're Canadian and you specialize in Canadian law, I think most people probably also don't know. But I can't imagine a judge would be very happy to see someone say, yeah, as long as you apologize, I'm willing to drop the lawsuit. As long as you apologize, I'm willing to drop it. And then you say, that was a good enough apology. I'm going to drop everything. I'm going to tell my lawyers to drop everything. And then you don't? Oh my God. I also can't imagine a judge would be happy to see someone say, I will never stop harassing you and Anissa. I will never be done with you. Yeah. So the liar lied. What else did he lie about? Was he lying when he denied Epstein's claim? Oh wait, he never actually denied it. Well, don't worry about it, okay? Don't worry about it. Just don't look too deep into it, okay? It closes some of this stuff. One sec. Sorry, I was looking at a chatter. I think there's one chatter that's like a little wired, so I'm gonna ignore them. Ah. Oh, I saw this as well. I talked about it a little bit, but this is just a separate thing. Good to know that they're still doing what they do. Good to know that the H3 show is still like a fun experience. Girl with a Microphone wraps up the episode they just did about a 14-year-old girl who was groomed, raped, and murdered by describing it as a tight, little, and fuckable episode. This is about David. They did an episode about David. There was nothing else in the episode. And this is how they signed off on the episode. This is the woman who claims to be the only true feminist standing up to misogynists.
Well, that's a nice tight little episode, tight little fuckable episode. Ethan has stuff to do.
Okay. I personally would not use those words to describe an episode about a girl who was murdered and raped. That's just personally, I would, and honestly, listen, I don't think comedy is illegal. If she was talking about, like, if they did an episode on, I don't know. Honestly, they could have done an episode on the Israel lady who's like, let me just fix my pants. Let me sit with my knees up and separated. And she was like, that's a nice tight fuckable episode. I would have thought it was kind of funny. I would have been like, that's a little funny, actually. But maybe not on the episode about a girl who was groomed and raped and murdered. I don't know. That seems insane. I don't know. Yeah, and then they were making weird jokes about Celeste, and I don't even want to repeat that stuff. I just I can't. They called her Crazy Bee and had it coming when they learned she was bipolar. I don't like that. Isn't it funny that, like, they try to moral high ground and be like, we don't even call women bitches, except sometimes we do. It's like, do you really think that's the most important thing to not do when it comes to misogyny? That's like one of the least important things to do or not do. Yeah, unless he's talking about me. If he's talking about me, then that word comes out. Then he ripped it. Then it's fine to do. That's a vile human. What a vile bitch. Caroline said that this lady spends her days shitting on Hasan's misogyny and playing the true feminist. What the fuck, dude? If you're gonna pretend to be like a feminist or whatever, I don't know, maybe don't do whatever the fuck this is. Maybe, I don't know, call out. If you're claiming to be the one true feminist, why don't you, like, call out your boss describing a random woman as a prostitute? Like, at least I don't pretend to be, like, the one true dog defender or something. If you're gonna pretend to be, like, the biggest feminist ever, have some morals on that. So bizarre. It's rich because it's always crickets for anything Ethan does. If you say that you're the one true anything, it never works. Look at OTK. We're not misogynistic unless it's about Denims or Anissa or Frogan or this random woman at a poker tournament or this victim of a terror attack or this child victim of murder. But other than that, we're feminists. Other than all of the fucking sluts that we hate, we're feminists outside of that. Oh, you were right, by the way. Apologies do help in Canadian court. Factors that courts will consider when assessing damages for defamation include the nature and the seriousness of the defamation, the mode and extent of publication, impact on plaintiff defendant's conduct through to the end of trial, and whether the defendant has apologized. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I only did like the bare minimum. And so my understanding is not perfect. I'm not going to pretend to be like an expert in Canadian defamation law, but it's different from the United States, where in the United States, apologies are very questionable because then they get used as, you know, admission of guilt and whatever. In Canadian court, it's there's a lot more deference to the law and like being reasonable and not wasting the court's fucking time. So the more remorse or whatever, the more it's like, okay, can we move on? Clearly the harm is minimal. Clearly this, okay, great. Can we move on? So I just don't, that's why the way that I'm thinking about it and looking at it is like, what exactly is the play here? Hey, I'm going to drop it. Thank you for giving a heartfelt apology. Just kidding. I'm not going to drop it. Huh? What? Did you guys see this is sort of off topic but on topic? The delusion from the remaining H3 fans being like, Noah Samson should be thanking Ethan for being forgiving and dropping the lawsuit. It's like, it's clear Ethan has turned over a new leaf after his good friend Oliver died. And so he should be a little bit more thankful. Okay. He's moving on from all these lawsuits other than that vile bitch Denims. So like Noah should be saying thank you. And everyone else should be saying thank you too for the fact that he's being so merciful. Doesn't drop the Ethan lawsuit. Or sorry, the Ian lawsuit. Okay. Did you even say please once, Mr. Jawanski? Crazy level of imagination on their part. I guess that was a fucking lie. do you think it's a little bit funny slash I guess just funny that Ethan has stopped talking about me completely? I've become sort of like a boogeyman. That bitch of a person is still a funny turn of phrase. It is still funny. Yeah, I'm like, she who shall not be named. Yeah, I really don't understand. I don't understand what the fuck this is. This other YouTuber, I guess, also commented on this and said, I always thought there was something inherently disingenuous as an American going after a court case in another country that wouldn't have legs in your own country. If Ian had streamed in New York, Ethan wouldn't have a case. Why did he admit that? Why did he say that and say... Well, also, I'm not suing Destiny because I have a weaker case because it's in the US. Why did he say that? I just... You know, it's my fault because I keep trying to, like, attribute sanity where there is absolutely none. So that's on me. I should know better when it comes to Ethan. There is no sanity. Some might say the Marlboro rolls are gone, people. They're gone. Some might say that. Me? No, I wouldn't say that. But some, they would say that. They would say that. I'm just reading through some of these, just for my own personal entertainment. This is infinitely more embarrassing than if he hadn't said that he would drop the law. Why did he say that if he knew he wasn't going to drop it? It's hilarious too, because this is the one that a lot of his own fans, orbiters, and leeches thought was so fucking stupid. That's true. I forgot. Nicholas Eat Oreo was saying it was not a good lawsuit, and it made no sense. Can you imagine a Moist Critical update? We're not going to get a Moist Critical update, but can you imagine one? Is he trying to use iDubbbz apology as an admission of guilt, even though iDubbbz didn't admit anything? From my brief understanding, I am not a lawyer in Canada. Canadian law and American law treat apologies very different, or differently. And American law tends to use apologies as an admission of guilt, and Canadian law actually tends to do the opposite. So, that the apology is more so I am trying to right any wrongs that occurred, regardless of whether or not I am at fault. So Ethan always finds a way to take the worst possible route to wherever he thinks he's going. Such a gremlin. Apology happened almost a month ago. Noah lawsuit stuff came after. So was he waiting for a more positive outcome from that to make a decision? I think he realized his audience tanked without the drama because his community has been overrun by Destiny orbiters. I wouldn't be surprised if he was just trying to get his numbers back up by having drama to farm. I do think, like, personally, I think, like, he did a big, like, show and dance with that, the I'm suing these 3 creators video because he wanted to, like, pump his numbers up a little bit. And I think he viewed it as like, oh, this is going to be such a good publicity stunt. And then I think after the loss, it was like, also, it's just like, it's like a hot flash and like a pan type of thing where I don't think that those people would stay that would be interested in like, oh my God, he's suing them. And then they would just move on, right? Oh, I've seen this video. The Oliver Tree one. I'm not going to speculate on Oliver Tree and Ethan Klein. I don't really care about it. I saw the clips of him at the eulogy. I just died of cringe looking at that. I just can't. I can't, dude. I can't. You can go and watch it and tell me if you thought it was a good eulogy on your own time. I'm not watching that shit again. That was like that should be in a cringe compilation. That's how bad it was, dude. Oh shit, I gotta watch this clip. Separate clip. I don't know who this is. All right, just really quickly. You see the clip where Ethan thought the crowd was laughing at his jokes, but they were laughing at a dude that called Ethan a pussy in the crowd? If that's true, that's really funny. That is actually pretty funny. I'm too curious. I have to know. Just for my personal curiosity. Your hair looks really nice today. Thank you! Thank you for noticing. I spent so long trying to get it to look good. Okay? Thank you. I spent like a whole fucking 40 minutes on my bangs just trying to get them to look how I want them to look. And they finally, today, they looked how I wanted them to look. So thank you. And I was going to pull up... I just want to see what the cope is. Is that okay? Is that illegal to just see what the cope is on the H3 subreddit? Or is this one of those things that the second anyone posts it immediately gets deleted? Ah. Okay. No one wants to talk about it. Okay. Just went to the H3 subreddit to see. Sorted by new. Something about Kate. Something else. WNBA alert. Balled off. AB. Something else. Some tattoo. Okay, and then this is too long ago. No post. I guess if you're posturing the entire time and saying, if you were posturing the entire time and saying that, like, yeah, no, Ethan, he's such a good guy. He's really changed. I think a friend of his passing has really put into perspective the things that matter, and I think he's changed a lot. And he doesn't want to pursue silly lawsuits anymore. And then he's still pursuing the lawsuit. Yeah, I would understand being like, let's just not talk about this, actually. I don't want to talk about this, actually. Thank you for letting me know, Evie Sprinkle. I checked, it's like the conservative subreddit, it's just literal crickets. Dude, the conservative subreddit is so fun. It's kind of got the same vibe. If you go to our conservative, there's always people in there being like, so Trump made things worse. Can someone please explain to me how this Trump policy that makes our lives worse actually secretly makes it better? Question mark. And then there's like 30 replies being like, this just can't be right. This has got to be fake news. And then there's like a couple people in there being like, no. The Democrats made him do that somehow. And then there's a couple people being like, fuck you. Eat shit and die. You will live in a cave. Or sorry, you will live in like a 20 square foot apartment. You will own nothing. You will eat the bugs and you will be happy. I'm tired of entitled pricks like you expecting the president to make your life better. You know? Oh, I see. The higher gas prices are actually a good thing. Okay. The Reagan conservative flares go hard as fuck. These people are legitimately insane. That's pretty funny. Stop. I'm going to watch this on my own. Mario, stop. That's really funny. I didn't see this. Crew points out audiences laughing at a random person in the crowd calling Ethan a pussy and not on it as his choice. Stop. Stop. I can't. I'm not legally allowed to have that much fun on my stream. Okay, you understand? This is a no fun broadcast ever. All right. Ever. No, can we please? It's very funny. Okay, sure.
Somebody who was there in attendance posted some footage on the subreddit just now from the perspective of the audience.
Okay, got a mic the audience. Let's see. Fuck yeah.
Fuck. Fuck yeah. This shit's gonna go hard. I bet that guy's gonna glaze me right now. Fuck yeah.
I put a little bit of his ashes on there. I hope you guys don't mind. I helped my.
I understand what the goal was with the ashes joke, but like, I don't know, man. It's weird.
Myself to the urn.
Maybe like just like the wrong person is delivering that joke. I don't know who would be the right person to deliver like I smoked some, maybe like Snoop Dogg making that joke would be funny. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe just the person saying the joke needs to be funny. Because like I wouldn't make a joke like that because I don't think I would deliver it well. Okay. I don't have the comedic talent to be able to deliver a joke and do that type of joke. I feel like you should go for the softball ones when you're not like a practiced comedian that like does stand up.
That's like a pretty good response, healthy response. Little oohs, some chuckles. That's good, right?
Gasps.
That's the gasps, yeah. That lady was perfect. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that, but it's funny. She's the best, buddy. If you are watching or know who that is, please contact me.
You're hired.
Oh, don't smoke human remains.
Pussy!
No, stop. That's illegal. That's illegal. That's defamation. That is defamation of the highest order. You know, that guy is going to get fucking 10 lawsuits. They're going to pull up his Instagram. They're going to fucking get this guy. That is rough. Dude, stop. Dude, stop. Stop. You can't do that. That's illegal. It's illegal to be mean to Ethan Klein, okay? He's gonna do like another 17 videos. He's gonna find this guy's identity and sue him. That's antiseptic, dude.
Wait, they're laughing at him yelling pussy?
The delay of processing.
So the truth comes out. But
you know, I think that actually I changed my mind. The people in the audience, they're reacting to that content, dude. They are reacting. That guy just transformed his bit. That was transformative. You can trust me. I'm the fairies queen, so you can actually trust me.
I'm trying to be a hater, Ethan. I think you did it so wonderfully.
I don't think they're laughing at him saying pussy. Why is that?
So true, King. Keep coping. Mm-hmm. They're not laughing at me. They're laughing with me.
Timing would say otherwise, but
okay, low key. I've only seen like 2 clips from that chick. I think her name is Tamara or whatever. But I feel like the only clips I've seen of her have been of her shitting on Ethan. I know he hates her ass. That is a joke for legal purposes, not actually for legal purposes. Dude, why is there that? There's like a clip of her being like, Ethan Klein would find a way to make a weird joke about children here or something like that. So there's so many clips of her saying shit like that. It's so insane. Oh, all right, continuing.
No, they're not laughing at him.
No, they're not laughing at him. They're laughing at a secret third thing. There was actually like there was a secret third angle where a guy sat on a whoopee cushion, and that's why everyone just started laughing really hard. That's actually why. That was actually, yeah, no. It's giving the SpongeBob movie, so you're saying the microphone is on and everything I say is getting amplified into the audience?
Maybe some people sitting around him.
Oh, it's that like Ethan's comedy is like so highbrow that for the average person to understand the comedy, it's like it takes them a couple seconds. And that's why the audience took so long to laugh at his joke. Because, like, if you think about it, you have to have a pretty high IQ to understand Rick and Morty. And you have to have a pretty high IQ to understand the Ethan Klein broadcast, I think. Yeah. So the people who laughed immediately, those are the really smart people who watch Rick and Morty. And the people who had a delayed laughter, they were like, oh, I get it, because it's an urn and the ashes and the smoking and that's actually what happened. So sorry that you guys are so stupid you didn't understand that. It was obviously delayed laughter. It was definitely not that people immediately laughed really hard when that one guy said pussy.
But if you go back to this, you can't hear him at all. They're obviously laughing at my comedic timing.
Don't smoke human remains.
Right? Oh, you can
Yeah.
barely.
Oh, you can hear it?
It's all Austin McBroom type of thing, eh?
Well, if you look at this angle, it doesn't happen except as long as you ignore when it happens.
Stop!
Stop! Stop! Oh, don't smoke human remains.
You can hear it.
This guy calls me the cell phone queen. This guy. You know, one thing I'm going to say that I was kind of annoyed at was that I guess, let me pull it up. In my video, the most recent video that I made on winning the lawsuit, I put a little Easter egg at the end, but a lot of people stopped right before the Easter egg, so many people didn't see the Easter egg. But at the very end, there was this bit. All right, bye.
Denims, the queen of self-owning, you prevail again.
You prevail again. I was sad. So many people. The ending was too long. That was my bad. I should have made the ending shorter so that people would see the little Easter egg that I put in there. But okay. There's.
I just don't know why people laugh at it because it's not funny. I was.
See, I get why people would laugh at what I was saying because I'm obviously funny. Isn't that right? My paid friends. Why aren't you guys laughing? I pressed the laugh button. You don't see the giant sign that says laugh now at Ethan Klein's jokes? Laugh, goddammit. What do you think I fucking pay you for? To be my friend. Exactly. Now laugh. So I don't, like, my jokes are always funny. I don't understand why they were laughing at that guy's joke. Like, that wasn't funny. I'm not a pussy. I'm not. Girl with a microphone, can you call them sexist already? Can you say that it's a misogynistic joke? Please? Right before we talk about your tight little fuckable episode and your words.
Being funny, he was. So that's why I thought that. And
The
I still think
sadness
that.
and
Thank you.
disappointment in his
Mike the
voice.
audience.
Palpable. Dude, the clippers are crazy. Why would you... Ending the clip on the cough is diabolical, man. Anyways. Oh. This was the original thread, by the way. Half the comments respecting moving on, and half of them wanting him to go further, by the way. Are you really critiquing comedy at a memorial? No, I'm critiquing this guy who can't take a joke and can't take being called a pussy. All right, it's very different, you fucking idiot. Take as much time as you need to understand what I just said. Ethan's a good man. He's way too nice. Oh, God. Fucker got off easy. But whatever. On with life. These people are, like, so sad. Oh, my God. Jesus. Christ. Also, is what I read true that his team can't do their own streaming or video making because it takes away from Ethan's content? No, I just saw that they can't collab with each other. Like the crewmates, there was like 2 clips from 2 people on his show that were like, no, we can't do any collabs together. We're not allowed to, which is interesting. Thankfully, that's an industry standard across the board. That's why March isn't allowed to stream anything anywhere with anyone. Right? That's how that works. I also didn't understand the Taco Bell thing. There was one of the guys there, and I would say like the guy that I don't even dislike that guy. Sorry, I have a positive predisposition to gamers, unfortunately, because I'm mentally ill, I guess. So in general, if someone's a gamer, I'm like, okay, I like you now, or I don't immediately dislike you. And he was like, I can't get Taco Bell on my stream because that's an H3 thing. There's got to be like some, is it like a specific Taco Bell thing that they do or something? I don't fucking know. Surely he wasn't saying I can't get Taco Bell, period, and eat it and do like a bit where I'm like, I'm trying a bunch of different Taco Bell. Like, it's got to be like something more than that or something. I don't know. I don't understand. It was the lettuce diarrhea thing. I just feel like if you run like a broadcast and you run like a show, people care about you. Like, if me and every single other person that's like friends with Hasan did streams together, that wouldn't impact Hasan's viewership because people want to go and see what Hasan has to say and what Hasan has to do. So whether or not like I was collabing with Caroline would not impact him, or if I was collabing with Mike or something, that wouldn't impact Hasan, because I feel like if you like a creator, you don't care that other people that are friends with that person are doing stuff together. You still want to see what your favorite creator is going to do, which is why people will watch like the same exact video over and over and over again, because they're like, wait, well, I want to see what this person's opinion of this video is. Well, I want to see what this reaction is or whatever. But I don't understand. This is fake. This is antiseptic. This is antiseptic. Stop. Fungus finds out Ethan Klein is a bad gamer. Ethan caught on 4K on EverQuest is crazy. He was drinking bottle of alternate adventure over and over. Those are the microtransaction items that double the amount of alternative adventure points you receive. I saw him chug several in a row and then he logged off. Oh my god. That's pretty funny. It's a funny post. Alright, enough of this. Okay, man. Sure, dude. The lawsuit arcs continue, I guess. For the people who missed the beginning of this segment, I'll just replay it.
Yes, I do have important news.
Clip of iDubbbz confirming that Ethan didn't drop the lawsuit and now he has an upcoming court date.
I'm going to try to be as candid about this as possible.
Denims, you don't care if I clip your channel and post clips on X, right? No. People already do it anyway, so no, not really.
I have my points written down in front of me. So here is the news. Here's the important news. Number one, Ethan Klein has not dropped the lawsuit. Number two, we've been actively dealing with it for the past couple of months. Number three, I'm bringing it up now because now we have court dates, basically. And so, you know, it's becoming a lot more real. I'm not particularly surprised, but I am disappointed. There really isn't much else I can say about the matter right now because, you know, it's legal. It's legal. So, yeah, we're going to keep pushing on. That doesn't change anything here. For the rest of the stream, I am going to be doing what we normally do. So, yeah, that is it. I'm not going to be answering any questions in chat related to it. But there you go. I didn't even make you guys wait too long. Congratulations.
H3 subreddit now is hoping it's a clerical error or that some clerk fucked up. How would a clerk fuck up you telling your lawyers to drop the lawsuit? the cope. Keep on coping. Maybe if they cope hard enough. Maybe with enough copium. Maybe. On the topic of copium, I did not want to go today without talking about this, so I have to talk about this now. They're all competing in the delusional Olympics. Stop. Look, they're still here. Look. You should learn to shut the fuck up. Ethan was gracious enough to not drag your lawsuit on until you go bankrupt. You OnlyFans. Oh, look at this. Isn't it shocking that Ethan Klein fans are racist against Arab people? Sand whore. That's a new one. I'm shocked that Ethan Klein fans are racist. Wow. Shocking. The guy who said the fucking Arabs has fans that don't like Arab people? Whoa. Crazy. Unfortunately, that's not what happened. I won. And I beat his bitch ass. I think is what the words you were looking for. But I guess what am I expecting? Am I really expecting anything other than delusion and cope? Oh, Christ. All right, let's see this. On the topic of delusion and cope. My cat is making noises. That kid would be very upset if he could read. Oh, Christ. All right. So on the topic of delusion and cope, can we please have some fun? Can we please have some fun? I've been waiting for this to blow over, but it's been years, so I have to address it. Can one of the 100,000 leftists on here, for whom it's an essential article of faith that I am a genocide-loving Zionist, explain why, despite my condemning the genocide dozens of times and never saying anything positive about Israel in my entire life? If you can't explain it, then I have to conclude that all of you have such a terminal case of bitch-eating cracker syndromes that you... Whoa, watch the slurs. That you've actually cheapened the Palestinian cause to the level of, like, ethics in game journalism. You have cheapened the Palestinian cause. Dude, can I say something? She's so spiritually British. Tell me I'm wrong. Is she not so spiritually British? She's so spiritually British. Come on. Can I just say, also, aren't you guys tired of like this does not help your cause at all person who doesn't give a shit about your cause? Rolls my eyes as loud as possible. Wait, I thought she was British. Is she not? She's American. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure she's American. I don't think she's British. I'm like 99% sure she's American. She's from Baltimore? Yeah, like she's American. She just has British energy. Why is there so much anti-British discrimination on the Denims stream? Lesbian? I thought you were American. You're lying. She can't be from Baltimore. I reject. Chatter's talking about rejecting that information like it's like a demon from a church. I reject. You are not welcome here. Oh, Christ. Sure, I can take a stab at explaining it. I've never commented on your Gaza position before, but I understood where people were coming from the last time this came up, judging on your replies to others in this thread. It seems your primary objection is that you are not being judged by the same standards with which leftists judge Fox News pundits or Israeli national security ministers, because you never explicitly came out and said, I want Gaza to be turned into a giant mass grave. You find it unfair that leftists characterize you as unacceptably sympathetic to Israel's mass atrocities because they wouldn't single out a Republican senator or far-right podcaster who expressed the same views as you on Gaza as for these sorts of criticism. But you are not a Republican senator or a far-right podcaster. You are not a Fox News pundit or an Israeli national security minister. This is a great way to talk about this position that I would have not thought of immediately. And yes, correct. I mean, this is like the same reason that, comically enough, this is also the same reason that she sort of criticizes Hasan so childishly? I don't know what other word to use to describe it. But when you're on the left and you're representative of people on the left, you have to be better. But being better means different things to different people, right? Yeah, no shit. We're not going to judge ContraPoints the same way that we would judge, pick literally any Republican. But obviously we wouldn't, huh? I'm not going to pearl clutch when I hear... trying to think of someone that, I'm not going to pearl clutch if I hear, I wanted to use an example, but I don't want to use that example, actually. Nick Fuentes use a slur. It's like, yeah, that's... You were just born yesterday? Hello? And it's the same idea there. It's like, I don't know. Maybe you should be better. I don't know what else to say about that. I'm sorry. You are doing public... Oh, and then, sorry, the other thing, too, is I think you're judged really heavily based on your general, intelligence or people's perceived opinion about your intelligence. So I think, for example, people are, nicer to and more understanding to people who come off like genuine accidental idiots. I think when Jason says, I'm getting a fucking petting zoo in my backyard, and then he brings Maya on, he's like, I didn't know all that. I'm sorry. And he's also 20 something, 21 or something. And it's like, oh, okay, you're showing remorse. You bring Maya on to educate everyone. You're trying to make amends. Okay. And no one is expecting him to be a paragon of intelligence, right? But when ContraPoints has tens of videos that are well articulated, that are hours long, with interesting scripts, people expect a little more. It's like, you're not dumb. We know you're not dumb. We know you're smart enough to understand these ideas and talk about these ideas and break them down in interesting, critical ways. The fact that you refuse to do so on this topic shows your personal bias and shows that you don't want to get involved because you feel like it's too much of a hot button topic, or because you feel like people are being too extreme in one way or whatever, etc., etc. We expect her to be better. She can't hide from I'm just a silly person doing silly things. Whoopsie. Yeah. And her videos on a lot of issues are very good. And the type of person that can make that video doesn't get a pass when it comes to other issues that they obviously should know better. She knows how long it takes to research a topic. She knows how long it takes to understand a topic, or even to understand a part of a topic. She just doesn't care about doing the education or doing the research or whatever you want to describe it as, that other people have done for Israel or for Palestine or for the genocide. She didn't want to do it. So I don't think you get to say why are people so mean to me just because I didn't want to do any work on this thing that I should have done, considering how much work everyone else did. Who is she? She's a really big YouTuber that made video essays that were good, but she doesn't really make a lot anymore as much. I don't know. You are not a Republican. Okay. You're doing public commentary in a political sector. Also, she's more obsessed with how people have perceived her position on Gaza than she is about actually understanding the Palestinian cause. She cares more about her public image on that front than she does about the actual cause, which is very obvious and immediately evident to anyone who looks at any of her work at any point or any of her tweets about the topic. What is this? You seem to regard it as a tedious issue. You'd rather people de-emphasize and no. Yes, that's where we were. You are doing public commentary in a political sector which has predominantly framed your opposition to the Gaza Holocaust as the central issue of our times, and you seem to regard it as a tedious issue that you rather people de-emphasize and move past. And to be clear, I do think that there are a lot of issues that leftists tend to spend a lot of time on that are not necessarily important, or rather that it's not that they're not important, it's that there's very little ground to be made there because there aren't enough arguments that are moving. Like, this is just my opinion, right? I don't think it's worth our time to sit there and argue with conservatives about the Arschler. I think we should make offhand comments and be like, ugh, you're cringy, and then move on. Because I don't think we're going to convince a whole lot of people to stop using it by saying, like, hey, consider how, like, this would harm these people, and, like, consider this and this and this. And we would all benefit just from making fun of the people who say that and being like, what are you, 14? Okay. That's kind of cringy. And then moving on. Genocide is not really one of those issues. It's just not. Not on scale, not on importance, not on strategy, just at all. Like, it's just not, it's just literally, it's just not. You are a ginormous hypocrite. You describe yourself as Denims. There is no jean jacket representation, no denim shirts. I actually don't even really like jeans. Sorry. We're criticizing the person who spent months researching a video for Twilight, but because she didn't do any research on the genocide. Well, no, it's not because of that. It's because, also, first of all, she's researched topics that are important. She hasn't just researched, fun little topics about Twilight. Her videos are actually, like, I think some of them are pretty thought-provoking in ways that are pretty interesting. And she usually uses one fun topic like Twilight, or one fun topic like J.K. Rowling, or making fun of J.K. Rowling, to talk about the history of, like, transphobia. She uses like one small interesting topic and then blows it up into something that's significantly more in depth. Like, I didn't know about the story about the orange juice lady. I didn't know that until I had watched her video, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool to know. Cool. Jot it down in my notes. So she knows what, like, in-depth research looks like, right? And then but when it comes to this issue, she's just so much more preoccupied with how she's perceived instead of the issue. And it's cringy. It's just cringy. As an ex-fan, the most disappointing part is her obsession with how she's viewed in this issue. Instead of just righting a wrong, she could have just apologized and went, yeah, bad take, I'll be better. And she just instead tries to keep explaining how I'm not the bad guy. Trust me, I'm smarter than you. Well, she doesn't even need to say, bad take, I'll be better. She could just say, I don't really understand what I said that was incorrect. I obviously stand with the Palestinian people. Maybe I should have said that sooner. My bad. Sorry I didn't say it sooner. If you want to think this about me, that's okay. I will try to do my best. And if that's not good enough, I'm generally not in the business of trying to please everyone. I'm just in the business of trying to have the right positions. I appreciate all of the input and everything. There's nothing that's going to change my mind on being against Israel's genocide. She could have just said that, and that there doesn't even need to be an apology there, right? And it's just, it's very Anna Kasparian coded. Good moment to replay the video of a guy apologizing for not knowing the necessity of a can/bottle opener. Let's continue. you made a long and hotly controversial Instagram post last year explaining why you don't feel like you should need to make a video about Gaza, in which you slammed anti-Zionism in the pro-Palestinian movement and placed Jewish feelings and concerns about anti-Semitism front and center in your reasoning. It wasn't explicitly genocide-loving, but it certainly advanced positions that were favorable to the U.S.-Israeli genocidal agenda. I mean, again, it's also like sort of similar to like her post read like someone who says, I don't have anything against trans people. I just like don't think we should be talking about that stuff to our kids. You know, so I don't know why I would talk about it. Like, if you like, you don't have to be explicitly like, I love murdering Palestinian babies, for people to be like, hey, you could do better. I don't know. We know that you're capable. Why are you pretending you're not capable? I don't understand. It read it as an exhausting, eye-rolling, ugh, can't we just move on from this? Dismissal of everyone's white-hot opposition to an active genocide while defending many of the dynamics which ensure that Israel's abuses will continue to occur. Even in this post right here, you describe your positions as, quote, waiting for this to blow over like it's just some boring distraction you can't wait for people to stop annoying you with. And that's just directly contrary to the present zeitgeist of the political factions with which you have aligned yourself with. People see you as pro-genocide because you are far from sufficiently anti-genocide in a political environment where being anti-genocide is of the utmost importance to people of conscience. I'm a left-wing political commentator, and if I had spent 3 years de-emphasizing and dismissing the Gaza Holocaust, I am 100% certain that many leftists would be hounding me about it to this day. Even if I made the occasional tweet about saying Benjamin Netanyahu's bad, people would see my output as not reflecting the urgency of the issue at hand, and they would criticize me as unacceptably sympathetic to the forces giving rise to the genocide. This is a great, sorry, who's posted this? Yeah, sorry, it's Caitlin Johnstone replying to ContraPoints. This is a great response. Wow, it was a very well thought out response. I hope she doesn't pull an Anna Kasparian and double down anyways and say, yeah, well, you guys were being mean to me in my replies, so I'm not going to change my mind. She also is like friends with some deranged shit lib or whatever the fuck, Stacy K or whatever the fuck her name is, and just seems to have lost her mind. It's so disappointing because Natalie was my first introduction to trans people. What was my first one and was 100% one of my inspirations to come out myself. It's sad, it's pathetic, it's disgusting. It's just like, I know this sucks. When you're held to a higher standard, you have to perform at a higher standard, but like, maybe this is me glass half fulling and silver lining too bad. Isn't that like a compliment that like people think you're smart enough to be able to have the correct position on something? I would much rather be treated that way than be treated like a fucking moron that doesn't know how to fucking tie my shoelaces. I would much rather people in the political groups that I affiliate with to be like, what the fuck? You should do better than this. Wait, whoa. No, you should have stronger words of condemnation for this. Instead of like, oh, well, you don't know any better, so it's okay. Excuse me. I have to like sneeze and cough, and both of them came out as a yawn instead. All right. People would see my output as not reflecting the urgency of the issue at hand, and they would criticize me as unacceptably sympathetic to the forces giving rise to the genocide. I'm just some schmuck who posts opinions on the internet, but since you asked, that seems to be what's happening here. Sorry, it was a Reddit post. My bad. And yeah, that's like, which I don't know how many of you guys have seen her post. You're willing to write this fucking stupid diatribe and you're not willing to understand people's positions. You're just being obtuse for no reason. She wrote this fucking, oh my God. And now she's like, oh, come on, guys. Just leave me alone. Ugh, when is this gonna blow over? You're really bumming me out, dude. So many leftists feel betrayed because I haven't made a video on Palestine. Do they actually want a ContraPoints video about Palestine? I have posted about Gaza occasionally. and have given money to Palestinian aid organizations, but I think what leftists really want is for me to join their chorus of anger. Which, and here's the thing really quickly. Let me say, yeah. I would hope seeing a genocide that all of us are in some way funding with taxpayer dollars would upset you. And then she responds saying, is it to herself or to her own like self-posed questions by saying, is Israel committing a genocide in Gaza? Yes. Do I oppose it? Yes. Do I feel angry about it? Yes. Period. I also feel a lot of other things. So she talks about it. 1. Doom. The week after October 7th, it was clear the mood among Israeli leaders and civilians was overwhelmingly kill or be killed, existential panic, and unstoppable lust for revenge. It reminded me of the U.S. after 9/11. There was no reasoning or protesting them out of it, nor was it politically feasible for the United States to withdraw aid to Israel on a time frame that would make a difference. It would have required replacing most of Congress and overturning decades of bipartisan strategy and diplomacy. Even in the best case scenario, it would have taken years. So there was a sense of futility, but worse. Okay. If there was ever a sense of futility about anything, I feel like ContraPoints of all people should know that that's how trans people in this country and in other countries feel. The feeling of impending doom is just not good enough. Like, oh, I'm angry, but I'm also just like, I'm feeling very doomer. What? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what a bunch of horse shit, dude. Fuck off. Stop. Let's continue. She also describes, I feel misery. The leftist pro-Palestinian movement has quickly decided that their primary goal was not merely opposition to the genocide, but opposition to Zionism in general. The ethno-state that has been conducting an ethnic cleansing for 60 to 70 years? Yeah. This feels like the equivalent of saying, oh, it feels like you leftists, like, you want to remove Jim Crow laws as well. I thought all you wanted to do was just remove slavery. Unbelievable. You want to make the country not racist. What? Don't be ridiculous. What's wrong with you people, huh? Yeah, I sure hope it does. I would sure hope. Oh, sorry. We're approaching 80 years. I'm so sorry. My mistake. 6, 7. Stop. I did not do that on purpose. I would hope that you would be opposed to the factors, to the environment that created the genocide in the first place. Imagine thinking, oh, I thought you guys just wanted to stop killing the Jews in Nazi Germany. I didn't realize you wanted to change it from being an Aryan state only for the Aryan people. Well, if you had said that, then, maybe I wouldn't have gotten on board. It's like, yeah, the hope would be to change the state that allowed this to occur. This is not complicated. What are you talking about? Let's continue. That is opposition to the existence of Israel as a Jewish state, as an ethno-state. And here they decided to draw the line separating decent people from genocidal fascists, which had the following consequences. It shrunk the coalition. Hey, so really quickly. A coalition with the most useless value system that doesn't fundamentally change any of the problems that got us here is not a super worthwhile coalition. If trans people said that they don't appreciate the only LGB people, you would be a fucking moron to say, wow, you're really shrinking the coalition. You're really shrinking the queer coalition. It's like, that's not a coalition that actually cares about protecting queer identities. That's a coalition that cares about their very specific opinion. I thought she was supposed to be smart. Being smart, being able to research, and having blind spots are all different things that can exist at the same time, and sometimes not at all. I think she has like a massive blind spot when it comes to this, and she just she's just Anna Kaspariing out. And they decided to draw the line separating. Okay. It shrunk the coalition. Zionist is a very broad category. Most Jews are Zionists. Anyone who supports a two-state solution is a Zionist. It was politically infeasible. I disagree. I fundamentally disagree with this. It's politically infeasible. Again, literally, Democrats currently, Newsom says it's politically unfeasible for us to accept trans people because it makes the party look less normal. Says who? You can't just look at something and say, well, listen, it's just not feasible. What? Dude, she is kind of like the inverse Norm Finkelstein. Wait, what the hell? Continuing. What is the pathway that takes us from the present situation to the dissolution of Israel as a Jewish state? I don't see how this could happen without either a total internal collapse of Israeli society or else, nuclear war. As usual, leftists have championed a doomed cause. And, do you see the air of, I know better than you? It's so British. She's so spiritually British, dude. I think the British people should take her in. I think that they should take her in. Fuck no, we don't want her. Ha, I ousted all the British people in chat. Mods, get them. Can you imagine, again, say this about any other cause that historically has been a, quote, doomed cause. It's just bullshit, dude. Who are you to who the fuck died and made you emperor of what is and what is not a doomed fucking cause? People said this about the civil rights movement. People said this about the suffragette movement. People said this about the initial gay movement, queer movement. Hello? Sorry. Let's tone it down a second. On the other hand, there is a long history of... it introduced dangerous ambiguities, the vagueness of Zionism as a political Satan that enables all kind of rhetorical abuses. On the one hand, right-wing Israelis hold up all anti-Zionist protests as existentially threatening and inherently anti-Semitic. On the other hand, there is a long history of anti-Semites using the word Zionist in deliberately equivocal ways. Zog, etc. Anti-Semites are happy for the opportunity to misappropriate the now popular anti-Zionist label to legitimize their agenda, and many people are not informed enough about anti-Semitism to recognize when this is happening. These problems are mutually reinforcing. Yeah, except the second you talk to an anti-Semite or a Nazi about their usage of the word Zionist, you immediately can tell whether someone is pro-Palestinian or an anti-Semite. Or rather, which value they actually really care about. Oh, well, milk was used at, it was, I don't want to say psyoped, I'm forgetting the word for it. But 4chan attempts to reappropriate milk as a white power symbol. Can you imagine typing like this about that and being like, I don't think people understand how many people use milk as a white power symbol. We all need to be a little bit more co-opted. There we go. As a dog whistle. We all need to be a little bit more careful when we see people walking around buying milk at the store. It's like, I don't know, man. That guy has a giant swastika tattooed on him. It wasn't the milk that tipped me off there, man. Nazis will make themselves known. Big dog, What the fuck are you talking? It's not like you can, huh? This like, well, some Nazis use the word Zionist. It's like, yeah, and then you talk to them for 5 seconds and you realize they don't give a shit about Palestinians. Hello? It's like Tucker Carlson. Go and watch any of his interviews. You realize he doesn't like Arab people either. Secret closeted Nazis. It's like, moving on from there, moving on from that. Dread, the online left has spent the past 20 months distributing hundreds of photos and videos of dead Palestinian children. The main effect of this has been to create a population of people in a constant state of blood-boiling rage with no consequential political outlet. Which I think this is like the thing. This is the thing that pissed me off the worst about this post. I can't speak for everybody else. Maybe other people can comment on what they feel was the most annoying part. This was the part that was like, I think, particularly offensive. If you think that the reason that people were spreading photos and videos of dead children was to get people in a rage and then do nothing with that rage, you are very mistaken. And I don't even know how to bridge that gap for you. How many people stormed into like not Raytheon, Gunther? What's the weapons manufacturer? Oh, I'm like blanking. Someone in chat. No, it was Elbit. It was Elbit. You guys are right. You guys are right. Oh, Northrop. Yeah, thank you. How many instances were there of Elbit Systems facilities and like obviously the manufacturing facilities being stormed and broken and like lit on fire? The idea that like the rage never got anything that happened at any point is just so obscene. The idea that none of this led to fundraising that helped real people is so obscene. The fact that the idea that none of this had any political outlet that was valuable. Meanwhile, now we have a mayor in New York who's openly saying, I will arrest Netanyahu. This is what the people want. The people are finally ready for Palestinian liberation. Fuck that motherfucker. He shows up in New York. He's in handcuffs. Actually, no. I don't think that Israel has the right to be a Jewish ethno-state. I don't think any nation has the right to be an ethno-state. So yes, it actually did lead to political outcomes. You were just too blind to see that it ever could because you didn't believe that it ever could. Because you don't care about the issue that much. Which is fine, but you should just say that. Right? You guys fuck with blood-boiling rage? I think it's important to highlight for people in chat that being Jewish is an excuse to be pro-genocide. Fear of American Jews in the West has never been put above. I mean, yes, obviously. So what does exactly Natalie want people to do instead of pushing anti-Zionism? Be upset that people are dying and then move on with your life. That's what she wants. I want it to end, theoretically. I just want everyone to stop posting about it, okay? Could you guys stop? It's just really bringing the mood down, man. It's really bringing the mood down. Stop it. Okay, I am upset too, you know. Oh, people dying, boo. But like, come on. Where are the positive vibes, man? I fear this may be worse than useless. It's literally, okay, again. So literally it was not useless, but continuing. Anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism are conceptually not the same, and conflating them is dangerous, but in practice, the way that Israel is perceived does seep out into attitudes towards Jews in general. And this is like the only thing that is in here that's even remotely correct, by the way, which is, yes, there are people whose sentiments towards Israel have leaked into their sentiments about Jewish people, and that is a depressing reality. And that is all the more reason why saying it's not a genocide, there's no genocide, and bossing say is the worst thing for our elected officials to do. The best thing for our elected officials to do is to say we should be standing with our Jewish brothers and sisters and all recognize that what Israel is doing separate from the Jewish people, that the nation of Israel is reflecting poorly on Jewish people everywhere, and we should not be standing for this genocide. We should not allow this to happen. And instead, what happened? You guys are all anti-Semites. That was actually, I think, what caused people, not caused people, but rather, I think that has harmed the dialogue significantly more than correctly pointing out a genocide. While it is correct, I feel like she just goes on to conflate the two for the rest of the post, but she also doesn't actually attempt to remedy it or correctly clock the reason why it's occurring. She just says, like, these two things are happening, and sometimes they're happening at the same time, and it's bad that that's happening. And it's like, do you not think that that's insane? That, like, the nation committing the genocide is ruining the image of the people who have nothing to do with the genocide, but you care more about the image of the people than you do about the genocide? I'm not saying you shouldn't care about both, but I'm saying it's immediately obvious to anyone who read this post what you actually care about. The thing you care about the most, which is insane. It would be, again, like talking about Nazi Germany and being like, I just feel like everyone's suddenly starting to hate Germans. And, you know, some of us Germans, we left because we weren't okay with that. And it's like, okay, I hear you, man. I didn't say all Germans. But isn't it a little crazy that you care more about that than, like, the millions of people that are being murdered? Holy shit. Oh, she's also been completely silent on Pangria. Fuck, I didn't even know that, dude. Cattle Doctor, what the hell? Thank you for the 20 gift subs. What the? Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, continuing. I don't think Jews who feel isolated and wary in the current atmosphere are simply hysterical or hallucinating. Yes, there's communal trauma and hyper-vigilance, and there is disingenuous right-wing ghouls dismissing and censoring
kissing Denims' feet.
all criticism of Israel on the pretext of fighting anti-Semitism, but there's also a valid fear of historical anti-Semitic patterns recurring, and that fear gives power to the right-wing Zionist claim that only Israel can keep the Jews safe. Do you not think that Israel is relying on that at all? How about any of the interviews where they say that they're relying on that and that it benefits the nation of Israel and allows them to continue conducting a genocide? How about that? Does that push you at all? And again, instead of using this as an opportunity to say, hey, I would like to ring the alarm bell and say, all of us need to be better about making sure that we do not allow anti-Semites into the pro-Palestinian movement. We all have to make sure that we keep a watchful eye. And there were a couple protests that thankfully the organizers correctly clocked when agitators were showing up and anti-Semites were showing up, and were kicking them out of the protest and saying, no, we do not agree with these random agitators. They do not belong to our cause. But instead of using that as an opportunity, or instead of using this post as an opportunity to discuss that issue and say, we all need to make sure that we do not keep, that this space is hostile, that the pro-Palestinian movement is hostile towards anti-Semites. She says, guys, everything you're doing it's making Jewish people feel bad, which is messed up, man. It's like, what? That was your takeaway? Your takeaway was to blame the advocates against genocide? What the fuck? Continuing. Does this mean Israel should not be criticized and sanctioned? Absolutely not, but it's something I don't want to risk contributing to if not outweighed by tangible benefits, so I approach the issue cautiously. Compare this to any movement, by the way. Does this mean that I think that, like, trans people should not be allowed to participate in society? Absolutely not, but I don't want to contribute when I don't know if it's outweighed by tangible benefits. So I'm going to approach the issue carefully. It's like, huh? What? I must have misheard that, huh? Come on. What is conviction for 500? And yeah, again, like, I hope you guys understand what I'm talking about. Where, like, it's a framing issue where, unfortunately, other people can spot bullshit a mile away, even if you're trying to pretend like it's not bullshit. Or even if you genuinely don't think it's bullshit. Because I also kind of think that, I also believe that she kind of doesn't even think or know that it's bullshit, what she's espousing, and how it's harmful. But when you feel that way, it's immediately obvious to everybody else how you actually feel. It's like a rightoid pretending to be not a rightoid and saying, I'm pro-Palestine. I'm fuck the patriarchy. It's like, what did you just say in 2026? I haven't heard anyone say fuck the patriarchy in like a decade. Hey, everybody, get this guy. He's a fucking poser. And if she had framed it as, hey, the reason why I'm like hesitant to talk about this is because I really want organizers and protesters to do more to make sure that this movement does not get overrun by anti-Semites. And I trust and I believe in all of the people that are trying to push for this cause, and that they are, pro-human, and that they want to make sure, and they are fundamentally anti-genocide, and that's why they're talking about this issue in the first place. However, this is something that I think is very important that I don't feel like enough people are talking about. And I think most people would have been like, okay. I mean, sure. Okay. Yeah. Sure, we should. I help organize locally for Palestine. We have very strict rules to combat anti-Semitism. It's dangerous to the cause, makes us easy to dismiss, and beyond all that, it's a disgusting, gross worldview. Exactly. So, like, when you don't frame it that way, and instead you're like, I just don't want to contribute because, like, what if it's bad or something? It's like, dude, what the hell? Weird. Also, why do we ignore Islamophobia? Which she mentions, like, post 9/11, but it's whatever. Let's keep talking. TLDR, I see the situation's bleak, intractable, extremely divisive, and devoid of any element that could be appropriately transformed into political entertainment. That's why I haven't made a video about it. Hopefully it goes without saying that these are just my thoughts. I'm sure other bread tubers have different opinions. Okay. So if you guys can see, this is why people were upset about her. This was the original post that she made, and many people did not like that post because it was bad. And it just assumed that the movement would be a failure before it even took off, or when it was just starting. She waited that long to say, like, genocide is bad, but I don't want to help your cause because what if that's even worse or something? It's like, and then she has the audacity to say, can I just understand why you guys are so mad at me? Ugh. Such a drag, guys. Come on, please. Boo. Leave me alone, all right? But this was very well put out. And then it's kind of cringy that, like, people have written out pretty good responses. Well, this is from yesterday. Over 24 hours ago. Your support for Palestine is not a raging fire, is a critique at least somewhat based in reality. You're a genocidal Zionist is not. Which again, like, need I pull up the Dr. King quote? Like, complicity or a lack of an aggressive fire when you are holding the moderate position, you are contributing to the problem. You are part of the problem. What was that quote about how white moderates are super dope and helpful and how we love them so much? I think Martin Luther King, he famously said, I love white moderates. They are the best. And I have a dream where it's just white moderates and we're all having a good time and we're partying and it's great. I think that's what he said. No. It wasn't from Birmingham jail. It was from the Birmingham Disco Club, actually. Yeah. No, that was the one. That's what he said. Because they were all having a good time. And they were like, yeah. And he's like, dude, white moderates, you guys are great. It's great. I like how you guys never step in to do anything ever, but you say like, I like you. You're cool. That's exactly what he said. No, for sure. Hog points. Okay, shut the fuck up. Shut up, dude. Dude, I'm not looking forward to whatever is the insult. What would be like the hog version of Denims? Contra hog. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Khakis. There's got to be something better. No, not shoe on head. Shut up. I guess it would probably be pants on head is probably what would happen. If I ever became a conservative or a chud, or I started like, I don't know, if I, for example, became Mr. Fetterman and had a stroke or something. And then just decided I love Israel or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. I think that's what would happen. I would just start getting called pants on leg or something like that. Sorry, I was looking at something. During all this, her main concern still seems to be how people view her, not, you know, the genocide. Yeah. Yeah. Hey guys, can you guys look at this for me? I have to go pee. Could you guys watch this video for me? Make sure it stays safe. If you guys could watch this for me. Thank you. Just take a look at it and make sure that they're fine. I'm gonna go pee really fast. It's really important. How long have I been muted for? Why would you guys do that to me? Me when any minor status effect impacts me. It's like, please. All right. Oh, I meant to show you guys this. Sorry, I was looking for something. Did you see how his borrow points went to Lindsey Graham's funeral? This is just like, okay, she didn't actually go. This is just a meme post. Right? It's probably just satire. I don't know. Anyways, this was what I wanted to show you guys. You guys see this?
For having the temerity.
He tweeted out, I could do this all day. Oliver Larkin went on Fox News and said this.
What is the number that is fine with you? Is there a benchmark? Is it fine? How many children can be raped and it's fine if you're in relation to the immigration community?
Well, if you're a Republican, as many as you want, so long as you're the president.
If we're going to talk about children being raped, then we need to hold this pedophile president.
Wait, I didn't pre-watch, I swear. Wait, I swear I didn't pre-watch. Wait, Oliver, eat? Wait, eat?
President Donald Trump accountable and all those that have been implicated by the Epstein files that the Department of Justice is still not leaking. And they've sent AIPAC after Thomas Massey for having the temerity to hold
Larkin,
accountable the pedophiles that are in control of our government.
Thank you. We appreciate your time very much. What is the number that is fine with you? Is there a
Beautiful. Beautiful. No notes. By the way, guys, Oliver Larkin is running in Florida. Let me pull up his website. I know someone in here probably has it, but oh shit, it's hit the news. Yes. We can watch like the full interview maybe. Wow, this was like a really good push for him. Okay. This is, for anyone who doesn't already know. Oh, let me get his website, sorry. It is oliverforcongress.com. Please, mods, if we can pin one of these messages, I would appreciate it. He is running for Florida's 25th district. And he is a DSA-backed candidate. I have nothing but good things to say. Please, please go and vote. If you're in Florida, if you're in the 25th district and you can vote for him, please go and vote for him. The election is August 18th, I believe. And maybe if we're lucky, we can have him on stream before then to get like some help and a final push. And if you have anything at all, you can donate like $5, $10, anything at all. This is absolutely, absolutely, absolutely 100% a candidate worth backing. You can also go ahead and phone bank for him. Mobilized.us/Oliver for Congress. Over, you can pin your own message there. $10 goes so far. Please invest. Absolutely, 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 you should. He was on Sacro Stream. He's been doing the rounds on Twitch. He's also totally understood the value of like being able to talk to people and talk about what people actually want. The DSA endorsement obviously is massive, huge. Start barking for Larkin. No, stay barking for Larkin. All right. And also, doesn't Florida deserve better? The Floridian leftists in here, don't you guys deserve better? Aren't you tired of being the worst state all of the time? The leftists at least deserve better. So yes, anything at all. If you can donate, oliverforcongress.com, it'll immediately pull up a donation link. Or if you can phone bank, even better. You've been doing gaming stream with Mike, Vio, and others. Get in on that. No, we played Monopoly together. It was really fun. But I am a good not capitalist, so I lost immediately because that's how uncapitalist I am. All right? With that in mind, chat, I think someone has poisoned the water well and has tarnished my crops or something. Why does my tummy hurt? Who did this to me? Okay, we covered... I'm not even joking. Why does my tummy hurt so bad? What the fuck? It's called being a hot bitch. Taylor Farms. Oh. Bagged lettuce for sure. No. Not the Twitch admin catching me. No, guys, I'm starting to think, and by think I mean I've always thought it, but I'm starting to have to accept that I'm probably lactose intolerant. But that's so lame. But I don't want to be lactose intolerant. Oh, Oliver mentioned Denims at the town hall. Oh, dope. Okay, I'm going to try and organize something. It's just been such a busy, like last month. We'll watch this a little bit later. But again, please go and donate. Please, if you can phone bank, we'll bring them on. We'll have some fun. I have to head off. We actually got through almost all the topics. There was no way we were going to watch this 3-hour video. We got through 30 minutes, which is pretty fucking impressive, I gotta say. So myself, we got through everything. So should be some pretty good VOD coming up, and then I could probably put some clips up as well. So please, everybody, have a great rest of your day. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Have a great rest of your day. Stay hydrated. Tell your homies you love them, and I will see all of you guys tomorrow for a shit Saturday. Hopefully not literally. Okay, bye.